Okay, turn me up. They don't want no smoke, I'm in my bag. Bitch, I'm rolling up. They say that shit hot. Hot, bitch, I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some business. Ain't no money, I ain't showing up. Don't know how to act. A bunch of country niggas pulling up. Okay, turn me up. Now they say they want that country shit. Okay, now turn me up. Now they see I be that energy. I make them turn me up. Yeah, I know they trying to finish me, but it just turn me up. Turn me up, Jay. Fresh to death on camouflage. Gotta keep a foot up on their necks cause they might sabotage. I ain't come for peace, I brought the mask, bout to terrorize. Step. If you ain't hating, nigga, keep that bullshit to yourself. Hit my bop on you niggas. Don't never question if I'm a real nigga. I get a lot for you niggas. Bitch, they thought I was finished, but I got a lot for you niggas. Lil John on them niggas. I'm the Braun on them niggas. I'm the hottest in the business. Okay, put me in the mix. I can tell you used to lame niggas that ain't this. Think you coming up a bag, you ain't getting shit. You say wanna fuck, but now she see a nigga lit. Country for life in this bitch.
YouTube, what's good, guys? It's your boy T, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on Week 16 playoffs, boom or bust, guys. Listen, guys, so some of these guys that I'm going to mention are going to be obvious boom guys. Some of these guys that I'm going to mention are going to be obvious bust. But also, guys, I have some guests on tonight with me. Yes, I got some of my homeboys that's been chopping it up with me with fantasy football for years. So the first guy that I want to introduce is Fantasy Good Sports Dynasty League number 2. He is the champion. And listen, guys, when you enter my listener leagues, if you win them, I will bring you up as a champion, and we will do a show together, and you can help people answer questions. You also could talk about some of your strategies. So I want to bring up my homie, the one and only Papa Chubb. What's up, bro?
What's good with you, TD? Thanks for having me on, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, bro. So tell people about your team. Some your drafting strategy, what you did, and how you won the championship last year. Whatever you want to talk about as far as in that situation.
So first things first, there's the ring that TD sent me in the mail, the Fantasy Good Sports custom hardware. It's a nice fit. Mwah. It's my first trophy ring that I've been running a home league for like 12 years now, and I got a trophy in that league, and I still haven't won it. And I've been to the finals a lot, but it felt good to get that championship last year. I had a few other ones under my belt, but having the trophy is really nice. So I just want to give a shout out to TD and say thank you for that. As far as the league goes, I've been doing redraft for probably about 20 years now. And then I got into Dynasty just maybe in the last like 5 or 6 years. And I just totally fell in love with the Dynasty format. And I've been trying to study that. And I think it's actually hurt my redraft game a little bit because my redraft leagues I'm not really on top of my game because I've just kind of put more of my time and energy into the Dynasty thing. And when you invited me to be in the Fantasy Good Sports League, the first thing I did was take a look at the bonuses and the scoring settings and just the crazy amount of IDP players in there. And I said, okay, we're doing something different here. And I went to work and I studied the bonuses. I got read up on my IDP game, and which, in my redraft that I run, we only do 2 IDP spots. Your league has a total of like 9 IDP guys, I think, that you can start every week. And the benches are super deep. So, the draft, my strategy when we did that draft, it was really dictated by what other people were doing in the draft. And being a super flex, you see a lot of guys that want to wait on QB. And I've been playing super flex for a long time, and I've come to realize that as much as, we're seeing this year with all the injuries and these kind of no-name guys. I mean, if you look at week 15, they were, you hear a lot about these no-name guys, or the Jared Goffs and the Baker Mayfields finishing first, second, third, and so on. Mahomes having a down year this year and stuff, but still, regardless of all that, QB is very important. So when I saw a lot of guys waiting on QB in the early round, early on in like those first 4 to 5 rounds, my strategy, I switched to QB heavy, which was not my plan going in. I mean, I always tend to prioritize QB, but when I saw other people sleeping, I said, all right, well, if you're going to stack up on the skill guys, then I'm going to hit you where it hurts, and I'm going to snag all these QBs. And one guy in particular in the room didn't like that, and he got pretty heated, and he was calling me out like, bro, you can't be taking all the QBs. I said, look, it's a free country, dog. I'm going to do what I want to do. And he was telling me I wasn't going to win, and that strategy wasn't going to work for me. And then sure enough, I ended up winning at the end of the year. So, a lot of that was because some of my IDP guys that I got later ended up hitting. CJ Gardner-Johnson had a big year. I picked him up off the waiver wire, TJ Edwards, some of these guys. And that's IDP is kind of fluky like that, and a lot of cats don't really be paying a ton of attention to IDP. So I think that's where in your league, especially if you pay attention to the IDP, you can get a leg up. And so I worked the IDP angle, and, some of my young skill guys ended up hitting for me, and just everything fell together. There was definitely a little luck involved there in the final week. All my QBs were injured. I had Kyler out. I think Derek Carr was out, and I ended up getting Jared Stidham off the waiver wire, and he put up 60 points for me in that final championship week, which honestly, I pretty much waved the white flag, and I didn't think I had a chance. And that's the thing about fantasy, man. It's just like real football, any given Sunday. So, as far as strategy, I would just say when I do a draft, whether it's dynasty or whether it's redraft, I just let the draft come to me, and I look at what other people are doing, and I look at their builds, and then I try to do the opposite, right? I don't want to follow the crowd. So in that particular draft, when everyone was waiting on QB, I snatched up like 4 QBs in the first 5 rounds. I mean, it was a little bit excessive. I'm not going to lie. And I was a little nervous to see who would end up falling to me with the skill positions. But in the end, I think I had a pretty balanced roster. And now me and you are going head to head in that week, this league, and I got a shot at going back to back. So, yeah,
this is a rematch. This is a rematch. This is another semifinals rematch. Remember, we played each other last year in the semifinals. Guys, he beat me by 5 points last year. Michael Parsons gave me 5 points. Michael Parsons had been averaging about 30 points a game?
Huge, yeah.
Yeah, he's been killing me. So he even was trying to trade for Michael Parsons because he knew I had a strong IDP. And when we played, Michael Parsons gave me 5 points, and I lost to him by 5. He went on to win the championship. I think he was up by like 20 points playing the guy, which we split last year. Well, we didn't split, but we gave the champion to the higher score because of the situation that happened with Cincinnati and Buffalo last year. So Papa Chubb ended up winning that. He had a great team. The guy is really, really good. He's also up to win a couple more championships in some of my other leagues. The guy can play fantasy football. He's really good. I respect his knowledge. So I'm glad he's in my leagues, brother. I appreciate you. And if you win another one, man, you got another ring coming to you. If you win another one.
Let's go.
Yes,
Number
sir.
2.
Yes,
I
sir.
need one for this hand, baby. Come on.
So, guys, I'm going to bring up my other homeboy. Now, this other guy, I did my first dual live stream with this guy. It was me, him, and Hustler. And this guy is the IDP king, and he's great with bets. I mean, he's tremendous. I submit to him in a way when it comes to bets. I don't know anything when it comes to gambling. This guy is IDP Iggy. Yes, sir, bro. What's going on with you?
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you so much for having me. Glad to be back on the show with you, dude. Semifinals week, man. It's the big week. It's When you get this far, it seems like every little move has, bigger implications. So, yeah, man, I'm ready to talk about it, talk about some players that can get there. Congratulations, man, on winning the other one. And, you guys got a match. And TD and I have a match in one of his best ball leagues. Somehow I snuck into the playoffs, and TD had a bye, so he's got the better team. But we'll see. Sometimes it's about being lucky in the playoffs. It's kind of weird to think about that, what luck is, and when you don't have to set a lineup. Losing a playoff game where you set the lineup and you left 32 points on your bench, and the other guy maxed out his lineup and you lose. That's brutal. But in best ball, it's just like, all right, who's going to have the better week? So I'm looking forward to week 16. I got about 3 teams going and a couple of big money best ball games going. So I'm stoked about it, man.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to bring up my other homer. This guy, I met him a few months later, and he worked for Hustler. We all met through Hustler. But this guy, man, is very, very talented guys when it comes to doing graphic arts. He's also a very good fantasy football player. I'm in one of his leagues, and he won the championship last year in that league. This year, I think he barely missed the playoffs. Thank God. He had a strong team, super flex team. But my homeboy name right here is JC Money Design. What's going on with you, bro?
What's up, everybody? Just here hanging out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anything you want to shoot out, man? Any links you want to tell people about sports affiliation?
I just want to say, I know Iggy and I got a matchup this week. It's a best ball league, and it's in the the Freak Bowl. So Iggy and I are playing in that in the semifinals. We are also in the FFAF Dobbs League, fighting to try to get the Dobbs autographed jersey. So we're both in different divisions. So we will be playing. If we both win this week, we'll be playing for the championship next week. So I like to hear that. That should be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of things coming around. I mean, sports affiliation is something that we do. We have a lot of articles that I have this little brand we're trying to build. There's a lot of stuff. We got YouTube videos coming out. I do a lot of breaks. If anybody's interested in collecting cards, we've been doing breaks every Mondays and Thursdays, but trying to build that a lot more. A lot of things coming. Come hang out with us.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, guys, we're gonna answer a couple questions in the chat, and then we're gonna get started. Let's see. I appreciate you, Lisa. Yes, sir. Appreciate you becoming a member. Nifty says, "What's good, bro? What's good with you?" Elisa says, "Locket, flowers, or reeds." Thanks, TD. Go ahead, Papa Chuck.
Man, I got Lockett on a few squads, and Geno's looks like he's coming back this week. I don't know. I would have to say that's a good thing. I think, he had 9 targets this week. I only think he got 2 or 3 of them, so not a lot of consistency out of Lock with the accuracy. Maybe Geno gives him a little bump there. Metcalf seems to be the alpha in that offense, though. So I would say I would probably have to go Reed. I've been fading Flowers lately. He just hasn't been putting up the numbers, and he's been falling off for a little while. So I'm going to ride that hot hand with Jalen Reed and the young talent, and hope he gets in the end zone for a long one.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Dude, Jalen Reed has been an absolute stud.
Right. Go ahead, JC.
He's one of my favorite. As a collector, man, he's going to be somebody I am targeting as a card collector for rookie cards. I think he's going to probably end up being, the Packers either number 1 or 1B. I think this kid, he's been, he's got touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 touchdowns this year as a rookie. The last 2 weeks he's put up wide receiver 6, wide receiver 17 numbers, but 20 points, 17 points. They get Carolina this week, then Minnesota. I don't hate it. I think that he can put up more points again this week. I'm happy if he can put up 15 points. I'm very happy with that, especially where you got him. Probably picked him up on the waivers like way late in the league.
Right. Go ahead, Iggy.
I think Flowers has a tough matchup this week. Lockett, he's, quietly Mr. Consistent over there. Reed is questionable, but I think Watson doesn't play. I believe I'm blanking out on my own wide receiver who else is hurt. But it's basically just going to be him and Romeo Dobbs out there if Reed plays against Carolina, who oddly enough who gives up the least amount of points to quarterbacks and wide receivers, mainly because teams are ahead and just running the ball out. But Green Bay's pretty much in must-win scenarios going forward. So I think I'm tilted, honestly, Reed. But, I wouldn't be surprised if Lockett has a really big game.
Right. I'm going to say if Reed is healthy, I'm playing Reed over those guys. But I don't know if he's going to be healthy. He didn't practice today. If I'm wrong, somebody let me know in the chat.
Yeah, both running backs are also been limited in practice. Dylan and Jones both limited in practice today. So, I mean, that's another thing to think about. They'll probably both play, but Reed, man, I like him a lot.
So I do too. I would go with, if Reed is not healthy, I would go with Flowers. And the reason why, I'm a little bit edgy. I'm willing to take that boom that Lamar can put up. I believe that San Francisco can push Lamar. So when a good team is facing Lamar Jackson, he do throw the ball over 35 times. If you don't throw the ball over 35 times, you can't play him in fantasy. They're going to run the ball. They're going to win the game that way. His fantasy numbers will be low. But when he has to actually compete and put up 28 points, because you're going to have to put that up against the San Francisco 49ers, I like Flowers, but I would not play him if Reed is healthy. So if Reed doesn't practice all week, I'm not playing him. But if he practices Friday, I'm willing to play him. So I would say Reed then Flowers. Let me see here.
Man, I really like him. I really like him.
Lisa says, thanks, guys. Love the card. I collect them too.
We do breaks. Come hang out.
Yes. Make sure you let them know at the end of the live where to go and check you out on your breaks too. Mr. Tuya says Hawkinson's or McBride for PPR. I'm going with McBride. I think he's the number one wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm going to call him a wide receiver. I think he's baby Kelsey. Well, go ahead, Papa Chubb. What do you think?
Yeah, McBride 100% for me. Can't really trust Nick Mullins. Hawkinson didn't have a great game with him last week. I mean, the floor on Hawkinson is high, but so is McBride. But McBride has a higher ceiling. And I can't get enough of that guy. I got him all over Dynasty. He's been blowing up for me in my tight end premiums with Fantasy Good Sports leagues. And I can't say enough good things about McBride. I actually got him as my boom tight end this week. So roll him out there and hope Kyler's slanging it.
Right. Go ahead, Iggy.
I think I'll go Hawkinson, man, against the Raiders. I just think he still gets great separation. I think Mullins will find him on film. He'll correct that. Mo Rig is the Raiders' primary tight end cover. You might get some Hobbs on him as well. Both of those guys have, high tackle volume because they allow separation. So I don't know. I think they're both good, to be honest with you. I think that's a good problem you have over there, Mr. To but I'm still leaning Hawkinson. If especially if it's half point PPR or full PPR. If it's full PPR, I'm still going Hawkinson.
They should play the Lions this week.
Right. I love the matchup too because the Lions can't cover anybody. Go
Raiders
ahead.
Last week.
Oh, damn. Yeah, my bad.
Good. I mean, I think the Lions have looked like their secondary. I mean, they're kind of been that team that's just kind of been slowly kind of falling apart. I mean, I think Hawkinson he's kind of been that main target. JJ being back too. Addison has been absolutely dominant too. I mean, if you're looking for somebody that's really safe, it is Hawkinson. Like his floor is like 11 points, like 10 points. So McBride has been, like you said, absolute stud. Another guy that I have, autograph rookies that I'm like holding on to. I'm like, this guy could be, he's definitely that talent that could be, Hall of Fame type skills in year one. Year one, dude. Like you're seeing this already with the tight end development. I mean, I think I put up the other week like what he needed, like 200 and something yards to hit Kyle Pitts like year one numbers, which were 1,024 or something like that. So it's possible, man. It's definitely possible if he has a big week this week, and he definitely can. So I mean, I don't hate either way. Honestly, you could flip a coin and you're gonna hit the lucky side both ways. Right.
You can't go wrong either way. We're just going for upside probably in this type of tape.
Can you start them both? I mean, can you start them both?
That's what I was
McBride is I agree. McBride is a wide receiver to me. I consider him a wide. The game is changing, guys. Tight ends now are like wide receivers if you elite. All right, so guys, if you want, guys, be patient. We will get to everybody comment. What we're going to try. We're going here for an hour. If you want your comment read in between our takes, then you have to super chat. Other than that, we're going to go and break down our boom and bust guys in each position. So guys, I ask everybody to be patient. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Also, guys, go follow these guys. I will put their links in the description box or also in the comment section, so you can go follow these guys. They got great content. Iggy has really great content. He does bets. JC he does breaks. He also talks about bets too. And also Papa Chubb, he just consumes fantasy football. He's just a fantasy football connoisseur. So but yeah, he don't do content or anything, but he loves fantasy football. He's very knowledgeable. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. To You. Thank you, bro. All right, we're gonna start with JC. JC, who you want to start with? The quarterbacks? You want to start with your boom quarterback?
I don't know. It doesn't depend with me. I mean, honestly, I don't even mind if we go running backs.
Okay, let's just start off with the running backs then. Go ahead. Who your boom running back for week 16?
So, I mean, it's a really, really hard matchup, but it's somebody that I've liked and always have liked when it comes to the fantasy playoffs, and that is Mr. Devin Singletary, especially with some players potentially being out. If Nico's out, Dell's definitely done. I mean, there's an opportunity here. You know, Singletary's definitely been tearing it up. You know, last week they got Tennessee, which was an easy matchup, but 121 yards on the ground, 49 yards through the air. I mean, the upside is there. I mean, he did well against the Jets. I mean, I'm telling you, last year he's another guy who just did really, really well through the playoffs. But that would be my like boom guy.
Okay. Go ahead, Papa Chubb.
Yeah, I hate to hit you with the obvious one right out of the gate, but I mean, it's got to be James Cook if we're talking boom this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he finishes the RB1 on the week. You can run all over the LA Chargers. They are a sieve. It looks like they're just rolling over and giving up on football this year. So the way they fed him last week, I don't expect that much volume, but you got to think the game script is going to be the Bills blowing them out. I mean, look what the Raiders and Aiden O'Connell just did to this defense. So maybe we're seeing an identity shift in the Bills, and they're willing to hand the ball over more. I'm not too worried about Latavius Murray cutting into his work. I think he made it known last week that he's the guy, and I think last week was really his coming out. So, I mean, he's kind of a must start. He's going to be in everybody's lineups, but you know, if you're debating, is it James Cook or Breece Hall, or is it James Cook or Derrick Henry? Cook's got to be in there. So that's my boom for the week with that matchup.
Yes, sir. I agree with that, man. And just to piggyback off of that, I'm a zero RB guy. This is why I'm a zero RB guy, guys. I don't want to go off an injury because CMC, he killed my zero RB. So I'm okay with that, being wrong on CMC. He's an elite guy. I was just worried about his injuries. But outside of that, who was taken in the first 2 rounds that's hitting right now? Because this is when you need them. Who in the hell want to lose in the second round or in the first round? So I need running backs to hit. I'd rather go and finesse running backs off the waivers than to go and draft a guy and depend on them every single week to give me 20 point, 30 point, 20 point, 30 point. So that's why I'm a zero RB guy. James Cook right now was drafted when? 5th or 6th round, guys?
Yeah. Probably around there.
5th, 6th round. Devin Singletary, when was he drafted?
Wait.
He wasn't drafted. He wasn't drafted.
Let me get a quick shout out to my boy Kyron Williams as well, man. I was taking him in dynasty drafts in the 3rd round of rookie drafts last year, thinking he was not going to do anything. I didn't scout him. I just said, oh, he's going to be a pass catching back on the Rams. I threw a dart. He's winning me 2 leagues this year, man. Kyron Williams, the man.
I'm telling you, that's why zero. I'm not saying zero RB is the only strategy because I don't want to. Because Iggy's not a zero RB guy. Iggy loves his running backs, but I don't want to because I'm gonna get mad if I draft you in the first round as a running back because I'm gonna be mad if you go out and give me 8 points when I need to win my championship week or I need to go to the playoffs. I'm gonna be angry with you, especially if the coach don't give you the targets. Don't give you the carries on the goal line, I'm going to be angry. But wide receivers, I'm okay. I'm okay with going down with Justin Jefferson and Tyreek Hill or Jamar Chase. Usually those guys, they boom. The coach is giving them 12 targets, and the game is played through the wide receivers. But anyway, I want to move on.
Right.
Go ahead, Iggy. Go. Who your guy? Who's your running back?
Well, yeah, I didn't do running backs, but I did do IDP, kicker and defense, and a
Okay,
wide receiver.
right.
Uh,
My bad. That's right.
no, it's all good. So for my boom one, I actually have Green Bay even after that performance. So the worst performance at Lambeau Field all time gave Baker Mayfield a perfect rating. But they have Carolina this week, and even though they can't really be tanking, they I mean, well, they can because my whole point is their first pick is going to Chicago, but they
Right.
just don't look good. I don't think that firing their head coach necessarily has improved that team. They're just going through the woes of having a bad line, being injured, and having a rookie quarterback. That's the real truth of it because the NFC South is the least competitive division. And they still can't get wins. And that even though they did just beat Atlanta, who I do feel good about later, I'll talk about them. But I think Green Bay, Jai Alexander could come back. Rashawn Gary's been playing really well. If you're like in a sack-heavy defense, because that's how most of these defenses get points is sacks, interceptions. I guess like a safety or something if you get something like that. But I could see them sacking. I could see Green Bay getting about 4 or 5 sacks this game. So that could really and keeping Carolina under, let's say, 17 points. So if that happens, you got a pretty good team. If that could be the difference for you. So Green Bay's my boom, I guess, so to speak, running back / defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been telling everybody, and this is what I said. Excuse my puns, excuse my language, but I said that Carolina Panthers was like the girl in school that if you go out with on the first date, you can hit. You got to chase them. You got to chase them. So if I see Carolina, I'm going to that defense right there, right, guys? Ain't you playing that defense if they playing against Carolina?
Yeah. They give it up.
They give it up.
They're going to be losing, man.
Right. So my guy, guys, it's Aaron Jones. Yes, guys, it's Aaron Jones. So I'm going to remember they give it up. The Panthers, they give it up. So I believe that Aaron Jones, he shocked me a little bit coming off that bad injury that he had 2 or 3 weeks ago, where I thought his career was probably going to be over because I thought he had a broken ACL or whatever it was going to be. The guy looks good. Y'all know how I feel about A.J. Dillon. Papa Chubb, he kills me with A.J. Dillon because I draft A.J. Dillon every year, and he's let me down. He's running soft. And I respect A.J. Dillon. I can't beat him up, but he's running soft. He could run better than what he played better at Boston College than he did in the pros. So
he's the new Eddie Lacy.
Right, exactly. So Aaron Jones, guys, I believe gonna have a boom week. They're gonna get Aaron Jones the ball against Carolina just to help take some pressure off of Jordan Love, and also that with Christian Watson that he's not going to play, just to help him from pushing the ball downfield. If you got some easy throws, it just helps the offense flow. So I believe Aaron Jones is going to get 4 or 5 catches. And also, I believe that Aaron Jones is probably going to get 15 touches through the run game, and he will score. So I like Aaron Jones. I think he can have a boom game. He could be a top 5 RB this week. All right. So, guys, let's move on. And, guys, like I said in the chat, we will get to everybody's question. But right now, we're going to go through our boom and bust plays. So, in order for you to get your question read out, you got to super chat. Okay. So, let's move on. I guess, guys, let's go to the quarterback. And, Iggy, you can just go on to your next IDP. And you can start, Iggy. You can start it off.
Okay. Yeah. For my IDP, man, I actually have one that you want me to do the boom, right?
Yes, you can do the boom first.
Yeah. KJ Britt, man, I think he's coming on strong. Todd Bowles, so he plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Todd Bowles, Devin White was healthy, and they inactivated him just because of, I think, the ferociousness that KJ Britt has been playing with. Levante David, man, he's great. I picked him up and played him last week, and he delivered. But he's just not that guy that can just go like cover sideline to sideline in the run game and the short dump off game and passes in the flats and so forth. So that's allowing KJ Britt to really come out and shine. And I mean, Devin White, he kind of came out and said something also on social media. I forgot what it was exactly, but kind of let people know like that's not right. I'm the guy, but it don't matter. But Todd Bowles don't care. I can tell you right now, he's going to put the best player in there that's best for them. And Devin White hasn't played in the last 2 games, and Tampa Bay's won the last 2 games. So there's something to be said about KJ Britt being there. He's probably still available in a lot of your leagues. So I like KJ Britt. And then do you go over the bus right now or you want to wait?
No, we're gonna wait. We're gonna go through the bus later. We're gonna go all the booms right now.
Okay,
right.
Yeah. So that's my guy, KJ Britt, Tampa Bay.
Guys, I'm telling you right now, I've been watching Iggy. He about 80% right on IDPs. I'm telling you. I'm no cap. He hits when it comes to IDP. So guys, y'all follow him. Go ahead, JC. Who's your guy? Who's your who was we doing? We were saying we were gonna do quarterbacks, right? Do your quarterback, JC.
Quarterback. So I think the quarterback that I'm gonna go with this week is gonna be Matthew Stafford. I mean, we've seen kind of Matthew Stafford have that kind of bounce back. You know, he's been kind of bounced back, been really well. I mean, he played against Washington. We thought he would have done a little bit better, but I mean, he gets the New Orleans Saints this week, and I just feel like they haven't been, doing as well as they should be against, quarterbacks in the past. And Stafford, Stafford being healthy, his receivers being healthy, kind of everyone, coming together, and that team is just kind of coming through. So I think that Stafford can be that guy who comes out again and just booms.
Right. I agree with that. I love Stafford. I think he's a league-winning quarterback right now. He got a healthy Cooper Kupp and a healthy Puka Nacua. And with that, him being a veteran, knowing where to put the ball, I feel good with going down with that ship. I'm willing to play Matthew Stafford over a lot of guys that maybe other guys may think is going to have a better fantasy output in Week 16. I trust Matthew Stafford. I feel like this offense is flowing. So, bro, I love Matthew Stafford this week. I think he's a sneaky play. And usually I like rushing quarterbacks because they give me a safe upside. But with Matthew Stafford, the way he's looking, man, with Sean McVay, I'm going down with that ship. Go ahead, Papa Chubb. Who's your quarterback, your boom quarterback for this week?
I'm feeling kind of dangerous this week, so I'm going to have to go with my boy Baker Mayfield at home, going against that Jacksonville secondary who's been susceptible to the pass. He's aired it out. He's got Godwin healthy coming off a big week. We already know the chemistry that he has with Mike Evans, especially down in the red zone. The run game is working. Rashad White's an absolute stud. I've been riding him all year. He's going to hopefully take me all the way to the championship, and he's catching a lot of balls. So I would say Baker is in a position to have another big week after he was, I think, QB 2 or 3, after Goff last week. 6 of the 8 last games, he's had multiple TDs. They're playing for their playoff hopes, and he's playing to keep his job. So, I think a lot of us expected Baker to just kind of come in and fill in the position. And I think he's got other plans, and he's playing his ass off to try to prove that he can be the guy and come back next year. So I would say he's going to be my boom guy of the week.
Yes, sir. Patty cake, Baker's man. Rolling around, throw him in a pan. Patty cake, Baker's man.
Yes, sir.
Rolling around, throw him in a pan. Listen, Baker's balling.
I'm starting him over Sam Howell this week. I was between him and Howell, and I got to go with him. I think he's got the better matchup.
That's easy. And I don't mean no disrespect. I'm saying that easy. That I believe that Baker's going to ball out. He's got tall weapons. So short quarterbacks, I believe they need tall wide receivers so they can see over. That's why Michael Thomas was doing so good with Drew Brees. Drew Brees was on another level, though. He could just anticipate it. He didn't even have to see it. But a lot of short quarterbacks, they struggle when they got short wide receivers. But when they got tall guys that are 6'5", 6'4", they usually play pretty good. Just go and bet that, guys. Go look that up when you got short quarterbacks. Fran Tarkenton. Those guys do good when they got tall wide receivers. So,
love it.
Guys, right. And my quarterback is Lamar Jackson. Now, I know that might be kind of easy, but listen, he's going against the San Francisco 49ers. That's a top 5 defense. But guess what? When Lamar plays top 5 defenses, he ball out. Because, listen, if every time he's threw the ball 35-plus times, he's been a top 5 quarterback that week. When he's going against a team that's outside the top 20, you say, oh, this is an easy matchup. Lamar is outside the top 12. So I believe he's going to ball out. He wants to win MVP. They're going to push the ball downfield. You're not going to be able to just run it with Gus Edwards and Justice Hill. So he's going to be pushing the ball downfield to ODB, Odell Beckham, and Zay Flowers, and also Isaiah Likely. So, guys, I like Lamar Jackson for my boom quarterback. All right, guys, let's go let's do tight ends. We're going to start with JC. Who's your boom tight end for week 16?
I was just looking through wide receivers, but let me see here.
Well, if you want to do wide receiver, we can do wide
Yeah,
receivers,
let's look for wide receivers. There's somebody that I really has been like really excited about for the past couple weeks. Actually, it was nice to see him kind of be the guy coming in as a rookie and just absolutely dominating instead of somebody else that we thought was be the guy in Sky Moore. I'm going with Rashee Rice. Rashee Rice is an absolute baller, dude. He's come alive on that team and he's become the number one wide receiver on the team that they've kind of been, missing. And last time that they played against the Raiders in week 12, he had an absolute baller game again. So he put up the wide receiver number 3 overall number. 24 points. He had 10 targets, 8 catches, 107 yards, and a touchdown. So, I mean, I think he can get that again. He's had a touchdown, 3 touchdowns in the last 5 games. So 2 back-to-back games with a touchdown. So I think he gets another one this week.
Right. And guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Let's get the likes up. We got 35 people in the chat. Let's at least have 30 likes, guys. This is cutting edge content right here. These guys know their stuff. I'm gonna tell you that. These guys know this. I wouldn't have them on the show if I didn't think they know their stuff. All right. Go ahead, Papa Chubb. Who is your wide receiver boom for this week? 16.
I'm going with Amari Cooper coming off a big game. Joe Flacco is looking his way more and more. Elijah Moore is nowhere to be found in this offense. And it seems like Joe is willing to just chuck it downfield because, I mean, the Browns, what's their record now? They're like 9-6 or something like that. Like they're going to the playoffs.
They in the playoffs.
8-6. Yeah, 8-6. Yeah.
8-6. Thanks, Iggy. So again, like Joe Flacco, I mean, could you ever have thought that this narrative was going to play out? But here we are, and it's week 16 in the playoffs, and Flacco's going to be in people's lineups, and so should Amari Cooper. Dude's just a phenomenal athlete. He's got a high ceiling. The floor is decent, but this is a boom play, so I'm shooting for the stars, and I'm hoping for a long TD for Cooper.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Iggy. Go hit us with your IDP.
No, I got a wide receiver. That's the one offensive position I did just because I knew, there's a lot of them out there, and I saw this guy available in a couple leagues, so I just went and snagged him. I got it dubbed as OBJ, but you could say ODB if you want. I guess I agree Lamar's going to have a good game, and I think part of that is Odell Beckham. I don't think he was there to be like the wide receiver in everyday games. I think he was there to be the wide receiver in the big games and make the big play, just like the Rams knew he would. So I think that's potential for that to happen tonight. He's available because I think he had a bad week last week. So if you're looking for a bind, you got it. May have point PPR, maybe even better because I'm not sure that he'll have several catches, but I bet he has about 3 big catches, and 1 or 2 of those could be touchdowns, and that's what you need come week 16. So I like Odell this week. Ward's getting really confident, and I think you have ways of being humbled. He was like, I think I'm the best out there. Well, when you start claiming that, now you're going to have an MVP quarterback coming at you and a Super Bowl winning wide receiver that has a great football IQ. So I think it's going to be it might be a little easier than people think because the San Francisco, if they have a weak spot, it's still their secondary. That's where you still attack it. So. That's my guy.
I love what you're saying. Yep, I love that. I agree with you. I love ODB as the wide receiver. I actually thought it was a bad pickup, but he's looking like a different cat. Guys, I'm echoing a little bit. If anybody got on 2 mics or anything,
is it me?
I don't know. Okay, I'm good now. I'm good. But
TD, can I ask you, would you rank the pass catchers on Baltimore OBJ, Likely, and then Flowers?
Yes, I would say Flowers, Isaiah Likely, and OBJ. OBJ is the boom guy. So in fantasy, I'm going with Zay Flowers, Isaiah Likely. Actually, man, no. In fantasy, I actually going to go with Isaiah Likely, then Zay Flowers, then OBJ. That's I would rank it that way. That's the safest way. The boom guy, like Iggy said, is OBJ. That's the boom play. That's right. This is the boom bust plays. But guys, going to my wide receiver for my boom, it's Jackson Smith and Jigba. Oh. Yes, Jackson Smith and Jigba. And the reason why, guys, that I'm going with Jackson Smith and Jigba, I believe that he's taking over the Tyler Lockett role. Now, this is why. So Tyler Lockett is still good. He's still gonna get 4 or 5 targets. But right now, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best. It's the most reliable wide receiver. DK is just a boom guy, as in real life. They know he's not gonna run great routes. He's just a beast. That's why they pay him the money to go catch a deep ball, run over somebody, make a big play. But as far as the route tree, Jackson Smith and Jigba is the best guy. He's the youngest. Tyler Lockett was that guy for years, but he's getting older. So I love Jackson Smith and Jigba. You see that he made that big play in the game. Who did Drew Lockett go to? He didn't go to DK. DK made a big play, but he went to Jackson Smith and Jigba. Now, I believe that Zay Flowers was the best rookie wide receiver come out of this draft, and I still believe that. But Jackson Smith and Jigba can run routes. He reminds me of like I'll call Amon-Ra St. Brown. Short, stocky, real quick on his feet, 215 pounds. That's the type of guy that Jackson Smith and Jigba. So, guys, I love Jackson Smith and Jigba. If you got him, I think you need to put him in your lineup. I think he can boom this week, especially with the matchup. Tennessee Titans secondary is not that good. So, all right, guys. So let's go on to the tight ends position. And your boom. Hit your boom, guy. I guess I'm going to start off with you, JC. You muted.
Thanks. I just want to make sure you didn't have any echo going.
Right. So, right. You good.
I'm going with Mr. David Njoku. So since
oh yeah,
and I think Flacco's going to be playing. It says he's a little banged up, but I think he'll start. He'll be the starter. And the last 2 weeks with Flacco, I mean, he's been tight end 2 back-to-back weeks. He's had 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Last week alone, he had a 14 target game, 10 catches. Like, think about that. It's insane for a tight end. So the target share is there. 8 targets the week before, 6 targets the week before that. I mean. And if you look at it too, almost 200 yards in the past 2 games too. So I mean, I think the volume's there.
Right.
And he gets Houston, so another good matchup.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, Iggy.
Well, yeah, like I said, no tight end, but I do got a kicker here. Sometimes that's the difference. That's how Fantasy Football 7-2 was won. JC's still alive in that one. I did not make it. I did take over a team. And TD beat me in the consolation bracket last week. So I think TD's beat me twice to once this year. That's kind of an asterisk on that game, though. I had to take over a bad team. But no excuses, man. You either win or you lose, right? Younghoe Koo, though, man. I think Atlanta's going to get down there and just kick field goals. I don't think they have the greatest, 30-yard red zone offense in the NFL, even though they should.
I agree.
Somehow they went from, the third best. Somehow there he is. Somehow they went from the third best rushing offense to the 24th, and they drafted a running back in the first 10 rounds of the first 10 picks. So I don't know how Atlanta managed to do that, but what I do know is they still have now the most accurate kicker of all time with Justin Tucker. Missing a few this year. Younghoe Koo with the qualification. I forget how many it is. I think it's a minimum of 100 or something like that. But he's the most accurate. It's a tight battle still down there in the NFC South. I mean, they're just, win these next couple of games. They're the division winner. Arthur Smith keeps his job. We're all mad because he's, not giving it to Kyle Pitts and Bijan Robinson and Drake London. But who gets the benefit from that? Once again, Younghoe Koo. Put him in there. He's probably available. He's had 2 weeks in a row without going over double digits. I think this is his double-digit week. I think he gets 3 field goals, maybe 4, but at least 3 field goals and a touchdown. Atlanta's backs up against the wall. There's a lot of jobs up against the wall right now. Players, coaches, all those things, and those things matter. So that's my guy.
Hey, that's cutting-edge content right there, bro. I like Younghoe Koo because I got him. I think he was the first kicker in the league that I played with kickers that I've drafted. So I'm not big on kickers. So I just pick up Koo every time I got to draft a kicker. Just because that's the first kicker that I ever drafted. Go ahead, Papa Chubb. Who's the tight end? Who's your boom tight end for Week 16?
Yeah, I just want to big up JC on that Njoku take, man. He has been lights out the last couple of weeks, and I know this is one of your guys, TD, that you've you've been dabbing him up for a while now, and I think he's finally coming on. I don't know why it took Joe Flacco to make that happen. I mean, Cleveland's been a dumpster fire under Deshaun Watson, but now Flacco comes and turns things around, and now Njoku, I mean, when he gets the ball in his hands, he's electric. So both you guys, I just want to say big up on the Njoku take. And my guy's Trey McBride. I talked about him earlier. The target share is huge. Kyler's starting to come into because I got a lot of dynasty shares of Kyler, and people were trying to trade me for him dirt cheap, and I steadfast. And now, Kyler hasn't been playing lights out. I think the best is yet to come for him, but he looks healthy. He's moving around in the pocket, and he's finding his guy, and his guy right now is Trey McBride. Just like TD said, he's the wide receiver 1 on the Cardinals. Unfortunately, I got a little shy with him last week going against the 49ers, and he proved me wrong and put up a huge game. So I think he's pretty much matchup proof at this point, and he's in my lineup as long as I can ride him.
Yes, sir. Bro, you killing it. I agree 100% what you're talking about in Njoku. I've been on him for a while. Sometimes, guys, I can be on players too early, and because if I see talent, I'm going to ride it down. I'm going to ride it all the way out. Pause, right? I'm gonna be on that type of talent. So he didn't always have the quarterback that was going to support him. But one thing I got to give Cleveland credit, they signed him as a deal, and he didn't have over 400 yards in one season, and they still gave him a deal last year. So I got to give Cleveland credit. A lot of times, guys move on from like talent that they don't really. They like, oh well, you haven't performed. I'm like, but this guy's good, and then somebody else get him, and they boom. So I've been loving David Njoku and Trey McBride, man. I think he's the next phenom tight end. I think he's going to be like a wide receiver. He was that when he played in college. What college did he go to? Colorado State, right?
State.
Colorado State. Correct. And so he's been balling. So I love him. All right, so guys, I'm going with a stack. It's Isaiah Likely. You might say, you want Isaiah Likely against Fred Warner and the San Francisco defense? Yes, Lamar is going to be pushing the ball down to Isaiah Likely. This is a big game. I love tough matchups when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens because they don't really play. If it's an easy matchup, they run the ball a lot, and that makes everybody fantasy output be bad outside of Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell before the injury. So I love Isaiah Likely. I think he's going to be able to get behind guys like Fred Warner. The reason why he's more like a hybrid, he's a fast wide receiver. He's not necessarily a conventional tight end that I believe that the San Francisco 49ers could stop. So I believe he's going to get behind a couple of times because Lamar's going to extend the play. He's going to get away from Nick Bosa, or Chase Young, and he's going to be able to throw the ball on a wheel route to Isaiah Likely. So I love Isaiah Likely for my boom play this week. Okay, guys, let's get to the duds. And then, guys, once we get to these duds, we're going to get to these comments. Guys, y'all be patient. I appreciate y'all being patient. We're going to get to all the questions. Even if some of the guys have to leave, I will get to your comment. So let's start with Papa Chubb. Who is your your dud quarterback? Who's your dud quarterback for week 16?
It's got to be Russell Wilson. He's kind of been in this middle ground where you think you can trust him and he gives you a bad week, so you bench him, and he puts up a good week. This is going to be a bad week. He's on the road in New England. He should be on your bench.
Yeah. Tell me what have you seen any type of algorithm why he booms or why he busts?
I mean, I think it's somewhat matchup dependent. I mean, as all these guys are, right? And it depends on the game script. But even if Denver's playing from behind, which they usually are, he's just taking too many sacks. Anytime I'm watching Denver play, he's scrambling and he's not getting free. And, so he doesn't have time to let the deep routes develop. And when he is chucking it deep, I mean, Cortland Sutton's made some splash plays, but anytime he's been trying to get Judy deep, it doesn't seem like they've got the connection. And I don't know. Yeah, he just seems like he's under duress too much. You know what I mean? I just can't trust him because he doesn't have enough time to throw down the field. He's dumping it off, and this whole Denver offense, I'm off of. It's like Cortland Sutton, and that's it for me, really. And even that I
agree.
don't feel good about, especially in New England.
I agree with that. Go ahead, Iggy. Who's your defensive player?
Yeah, so just what you said, Bradley Chubb, I think he was the highest scoring IDP last week. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, a few tackles. But he's my bust, man, going against Dallas. Dallas still has a good offensive line. That's not the question. And like you said, just law of averages, man. We just called boom or bust. And a lot of times you don't get boom, boom. You get boom, bust, maybe okay game, and then boom, bust again. It's kind of the way it goes. So I think playing the Jets, playing a bad quarterback, that was a pretty good matchup for him and Big Fangio. But I just think Dallas is going to focus on getting the ball out quicker, correcting it, maybe a little dump offs in the flat, use that pressure against them. Try to get the ball off to Pollard, maybe some Ferguson action or Cooks and some wide receiver screens. Just quick passes for Dallas. Let Dallas get the ball out of their hands, kind of use that West Coast offense. 1-2, nobody there. Okay, throw it away, get rid of it. So yeah, I think Bradley Chubb's gonna fall back to earth this week.
I like that. What you think, JC? Who's your bust quarterback of the week?
Quarterback. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going a guy who's kind of been, having a kind of a slow start after the last couple weeks. So I'm going, and he's also got a tough matchup this week against Dallas. I'm going Tua Tagovailoa.
No.
That's where I'm going. Sorry, did I steal you guy or what? Oh, is that somebody you guys? So they're going up against Dallas. So you got to think about. So Josh Allen last week, what they did is attack the ground. What happened was Dallas just got beat up all over the ground. We saw what James Cook did. Over 200 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Well, Raheem Mostert is here to tell you that he's going to be probably doing somewhat near the same thing. I know him and Achane aren't practicing this week, but usually, I think it's like Wednesdays. You won't see a lot of veterans practicing, especially like someone like Mostert who has been injured.
Right. But
you ought to think about this. The notable person who is not practicing, and it is because of injury, is Tyreek Hill. So you got to think about that too with the ankle. So this week, I think, like I said, Josh Allen still had 18 points last week, finished as a QB 17, but I think Tua maybe finishes a little less than that, maybe 14 points this week. I mean, I might be a little hesitant.
Right.
Who's he playing?
They play Dallas.
Yeah, Dallas.
They play Dallas. Yeah,
they got
Would you
shredded on
guys
the
say
ground
that
last
as
week.
the years progress, Dallas defense has proven to maybe not be as tough of a matchup as we thought in the first half of the season?
Their ground attack.
Yes.
You attack them
because
on the
you
ground,
got to run. Yeah, when you got guys at 240 pounds playing DN, you run at him, which is Michael Parsons. He's out of position. He should be playing middle linebacker. Iggy, I'll let you take over that real quick before we move on to my take. But I believe that Michael Parsons should be playing middle linebacker because I believe that he should be rushing the passer on third down, not every single down at the DN. That, to me, it's just – I think he's too talented. I think he could be like a Ray Lewis or a Luke Kuechly type. And then you rush him. I think he should have about 10 or 12 sacks and about 100 tackles. But I think he's chasing the money, so he wants to play full-time DN to get 15 sacks. That equals $150 million, guaranteed. So you tell me, Iggy, is he out of position, or is that just the way the new game is going to be played with light defense?
I mean, when Van Der Esch went down, they didn't move him over there, right? They had an opportunity to move him over there. They still didn't do that, but they brought Marquise Bell down, who's a little light in the pants too for a middle linebacker. He's a DB converted down to linebacker, so he's going to be smaller too. So, just like JC said, somebody found the weakness. They're like, our offensive line is better than that defensive line, even though they got that. Who's that defensive tackle y'all guys got? TD, y'all got
Jonathan Hankins.
Yeah, Hankins. He's doing good, but he's still young. He don't know how to stop it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you got double teams. You eventually learn as a nose tackle, defensive tackle, how to handle that and stop the momentum going. But yeah, they're just light. I think Parsons is probably a better fit, but you and I have talked about this before. I've said it 1,000 times. Once they put a premium on the quarterback position, that forced a premium on the defensive end position / outside linebacker position, and they're going to be the highest. And it's putting a premium on tight ends, which you talked about, which are becoming a very relevant position. They're making more than offensive linemen and running backs, and we're about to see that hybrid safety / linebacker. That's about to be the next high point. But yeah, I think that's what he's doing. He's no dummy. I think he's going down and saying, no, I'm an edge pressure guy. Just like Debo said, no, I'm not a running back. I'm a wide receiver, and you're going to pay me as a wide receiver. So I think that's what he's doing. Although he shouldn't worry about that. Jerry's going to take care of him. He's going to make sure he's never anywhere in Dallas. But, I think Dan Quinn's a good coordinator. I know we're taking a little too much time on it, but I think Quinn's a good coordinator, and I do think that they could utilize him better. Clay Matthews went from outside to inside. I think they could do that more of like on a scheme basis, like you said, third and 6 or longer, 3rd and 5 and longer, you're going to the edge. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, you're staying right in the middle. So
I agree with that 100%. That's just my take on it. But who knows? I'm just a fantasy football armchair quarterback guy, right? But so we talk about quarterbacks. My bust, my dud. This is edge. You know me. I stay cutting edge. It's Brock Purdy. Yes, it's Brock. I'm gonna tell you why. So Debo is a monster. Debo is one of my favorite players. You know who Debo weakness kryptonite is? It's the Baltimore Ravens. He can't beat those guys. He can't beat Roquan Smith. He can't beat those secondary guys, which like Kyle Hammer. These guys are big guys just like him. So I believe Brock Purdy getting the ball out quick. Baltimore want you to get the ball out quick. They want to come up and tackle you. Other teams don't want to come up and tackle. They want to play and defend the pass. So I believe Brock Purdy is going to struggle. They're going to blitz him some. He's going to have to get the ball out. Baltimore their secondary is a great team philosophy. They don't have any super studs, but they are a great team. I believe this is going to be a 21 to 28 point game. I believe CMC is the guy that they need to beat them. So I don't believe Brock Purdy goes out and throws for 3 touchdowns. So I believe Brock Purdy give you an average game. He doesn't give you the boom game that you're expecting. That's the reason. I don't think he plays bad. I just don't think he gives you the boom game that you're expecting. So I'm going to say Brock Purdy is my dud for my quarterbacks. Okay, so let's move on to the running back position. Let's start with you, Papa Chubb. Who is your running back dud for the week?
I hate to admit it because he's probably going to be in my lineup this week, but I see a dud coming for Travis Etienne. He has Tampa Bay, which is kind of a middle-of-the-road matchup, so it's not the matchup that scares me, but it's his numbers over the past 3 weeks. He went 11 for 45, 14 for 35, and then last week he only had 10 carries for 31 yards. And this guy was RB1 the first half of the season, and I don't know what happened, so maybe you could shed a little light on that, and maybe does he come back to life? Because the way he's been trending, he hasn't really been catching the ball out of the backfield as much as we'd like to see either. So if I could lean on him in a PPR league, I would be okay with these rushing numbers. But he's been a touchdown-dependent running back the last 3-4 weeks. And luckily, he has gotten in the end zone. But if he doesn't get in the end zone, I could see him being held to under 10 points this week at Tampa Bay.
Right. Real quick, the reason why I think he's struggling, did you see how Detroit used Jahmyr Gibbs this year? The first 7 weeks, Jahmyr Gibbs wasn't even a factor in fantasy because he's 210 pounds. He's 205. So you don't use these guys for 17 weeks. You have to give them maybe 8 carries, 10 carries, and then later in the season, you can boom with him because his body will be fresh. I think Travis Etienne has woo down. That's what I believe. I think they fed him too much early in the season. That's my take on that. But I will go to JC next. Who is your running back dud of the week for week 16?
All right, so I'm going with somebody who we drafted to be a really good running back. Probably drafted him in the 2nd round, maybe the 1st round, probably the 1st round. I'm going with Mr. Austin Eckler. So the reason I am sitting him this week is this was going to be his 2nd week with Easton Stick behind the helm playing, quarterback. And like we saw last week how that went, Keenan Allen potentially being out again this week. I just don't see a lot of volume. Even though he was the 2nd highest targeted player on the team last week, he didn't put up a lot of volume. Like he got 4 catches for you, 29 yards, and let's see, 5 attempts for 9 yards. Like that's a lot of fun.
Ouch.
And they're going against Buffalo this week, so I mean,
Right. You got to sit Austin Eckler. Listen, usually I don't never sit my studs because that's how I catch Boom. You know, a guy's a dud you 3 weeks in a row. I remember when I caught Christian Watson Boom. It helped turn around my season in a couple of my leagues. But the only reason why I played them because I don't sit my studs. But in fact, when it comes to the playoff time, I'm sitting your ass. I'm not about to come out there. You didn't win 8 weeks in a row and dud it, and you think I'm gonna play you because you a stud? Nah. So this week, Austin Eckler ass is on the bench, and if he boom, congratulations. I don't care. I'm not paying attention to it. I don't give a damn. So
right next to Gabe Davis.
right next to Gabe Davis.
On the bench.
I'm not playing no Gabe Davis. Right.
No.
Right. Iggy, go ahead. You can go with your another one of your duds for IDP.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I got the defense actually, man, and just sticking with the same theme. I got the Colts. Like I said, I think the Falcons come out and play like their jobs and their futures depend on it. You know, that's two kind of fringe playoff teams right there. And outside of Zaire Franklin, man, DeForest Buckner's having an all right year, but let's talk about studs or duds. I think Colts have 3 guys with 9 sacks, so you just never know who's going to be bringing it from week to week over there. Ritter's going to be playing for his career essentially this game. So I just think the Colts haven't really been a good defense. They've had a really good offense actually with Gardner Minshew and Moss. I don't think Jonathan Taylor's coming back this week, but that's one. And then real quick, I just also have written down San Francisco, man. It's just another one of those things that we're kind of on the same agreements, I think. And, we didn't talk about our picks or anything before this. I just think Lamar's going to have a good game. I think he's an MVP candidate. And I just think, like I said, Odell's going to burn them with a couple big plays, and that'll be it. If they force 2 turnovers against the San Francisco 49ers offense, that's going to be at least one more score. So, you're talking possibly 4 touchdowns, or maybe 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. So that's pretty detrimental. I don't think Nick Bosa is just going to be able to bring down Lamar Jackson. Like I said, most of the time if you got a defense, you get sacks. That's how you get points. So I'm sitting those guys, and most people are not. If you got San Francisco's defense, you're probably playing them, but I would sit them this week.
Right. I like that. What about you? Who your running back dud of the week, Papa Chuck?
My running back was Etienne.
Oh, you already did your running back dud, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that. Okay, that's on me. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
That's on me. My running back dud of the week is David Montgomery. Yes, guys, David Montgomery. Let me tell you why. This Vikings defense, guys, let's give Brian Flores a clap. Iggy, did you see what his and and JC Money is a Minnesota Viking fan. What would y'all rank that last year, JC?
Yeah, I mean, I think they were last in the division. I think
last in the division. I think he was last in the NFL.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 100%. I think we were 31 or 32. Pretty close.
I'm telling you, now they are balling. I don't want to play no running back against them. I'm not playing no running back against him. So David Montgomery, with his type of lumbering, I'm not saying he's lumbering, but he's a bigger back. They shut that down. I believe this is a Jahmyr Gibbs game. Get him out in space. This is an Amon-Ra game. Hit him with a quick pass and throw the ball downfield to Jameson Williams or Josh Reynolds. That's how they're going to beat Minnesota Vikings. They're not going to let you run the ball with no David Montgomery. I'm going to tell you that now. So, guys, I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 running back. So that's another reason why I'm sitting David Montgomery. They have switched from here, David Montgomery, here's 20 carries. Here's 8 carries for you, Jahmyr. To Jahmyr, here's 20 touches for you. David, here's 8 touches for you. So David, to me, guys, he's done for the year. I'm not telling you to sit him. If you can, you can do it. But if you don't got the players to do it, don't do it. But to me, I wouldn't put all my trust into David Montgomery this year. I'm not right now in the fantasy football playoffs because I believe that Minnesota is great at stopping the run. Brian Flores, hopefully he don't get he might get a head coaching job. But Minnesota, if he plays for Minnesota again for next year, this is going to be an elite defense, a top one, number one defense in the NFL. So, guys, sit David Montgomery in week 16. Okay, guys. Last but not least, we got tight ends and wide receivers. So let's go ahead and do the wide receivers. Who's your wide receiver dud, Papa Chubb?
I got Joshua Palmer as my bust this week. He had that one big splash play last week and then a couple more catches after that for maybe another 50 yards. So it looked good in the box score, but don't go chasing points on him. This quarterback is nothing to write home about. They have a much tougher matchup in the Bills this week, and I would not expect Palmer to be able to get over the top for another long one on them. I think that was a fluke play, and don't chase the points. Keep Palmer on your bench.
Right. I agree with full. I told people that. People like, what about Josh Palmer? I'm not chasing that for no Eastern stick. I'm not chasing anything on the Chargers. I don't want it.
All Chargers should be on the bench this week, in my opinion.
I agree 100%.
They should have got rid
Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson. I might play Quentin Johnson because this is the rookie. So you're going to go out and give him what? 7, 8 targets just to see what he is? That's the only guy I might play as a flex play. Go ahead, Iggy. What was you saying?
I was just going to say they need to get rid of Kellen Moore, too. Like, their offense isn't going to improve just because Staley went away. So
Dude, they need to play Max Dugan, dude. They need to just play Max Dugan and see what the hell he's got.
Right.
Like, why the hell are you playing Easton Stick? You're not going to keep him. Like, you have that redrafted rookie. Like, fucking play him. Excuse my language, but for real.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, he was, he played in the championship, college NCAA champion. Like, play the kid. He's been in it. Play him. Can't be any worse than Easton Stick. I mean,
right. Go ahead, Iggy. Who's your IDP guy?
No, I got a wide receiver. I got Demarcus Robinson. He's gotten double digits for the Rams the past 3 weeks, 13.5, 12, and 13.9. He's got 5 targets, 10 targets, and 3 targets. But he's got a touchdown in every week of the last 3 weeks, kind of robbing him from Puka Nacua. Cooper Kupp, I think, still had a touchdown last week. But I just think Tyler Higbee's back. One of probably my best 2 picks in best ball, or at least one of them was Cole Kmet in the 10th round. I think I drafted him in almost everyone, but Tyler Higbee was my 11th round pick. I pretty much just did bam, bam in almost every best ball I was in. And he's coming back to being healthy. Matthew Stafford, we've already talked about. He could possibly be a good quarterback this week. So I just think he's going to look to Kyron Williams. He's going to look to Puka Nacua. I think Demarcus Robinson doesn't get that touchdown this week. And when you take away 6 points from 13, 12, and 13, and week 16, that's not going to get it done. You're counting on that guy to get a touchdown. So I think he's been a hot waiver ride because of those touchdowns, because of some injuries. But it's cool. He's got New Orleans this week. He could have Adebayo on him, and then that's just shutdown. That's just a shutdown against him. So he's my guy. He's my bust this week.
Right. I love that. Go ahead, JC. Who is your bust wide receiver?
All right, so another guy that this is a guy that has actually played Green Bay a lot in his career. I'm going with Adam Thielen. He actually is the number 15 wide receiver overall on the year. And the crazy thing is he actually hasn't finished as a wide receiver 1 since week 6, and he's only finished as a wide receiver 2 times since week 8. So I'm staying away from that. Absolutely staying away. And Green Bay will probably eat him alive. They're playing at home, but I still think Green Bay eats them alive.
I agree.
Right. Who was your wide receiver?
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, I can't play anybody on Carolina outside of Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah.
That's about the only guy that I can play from Carolina. Go ahead, Papa Chubb. Who is your wide receiver?
I had Josh Palmer. It's on you.
Yeah, he took Josh Palmer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's on me. Okay. So it's on me. T. Higgins.
No.
I'm saying T. Higgins. I'm telling you why I'm saying T. Higgins. He's number one wide receiver. He's the number one wide receiver. And there you go against Joey Porter. Who's matchup? What's Joey Porter's superpower? Tall, lengthy wide receivers. So if it was a short, fast, quick twitch guy, it would give him some problems. I think he locks T. Higgins down, and he don't give you the alpha number 1 that you want, the numbers that you want. So I'm seating T. Higgins. I think he could be a dud. I think he could give you 10 points, but you don't need 10 points. You need 20 point, 30 points. So I'm seating T. Higgins. I don't think he's the alpha guy that everybody's looking for and trying to play him over other alphas like Puka Nacua. I'm playing Puka Nacua over T. Higgins this week.
Seems and like when Chase goes out, Boyd gets the bump. And
there you go. Boyd is the guy. Boyd is the guy. I agree.
Irwin.
So going on to my tight end guy, I'm going to go ahead and do my tight end, is George Kittle. Yes, I am squeezing the San Francisco 49ers. The reason why, that team is a YAT team. YAT don't go with Baltimore. If you want to look at PFF rating, the best tackling team in the league is the Baltimore Ravens.
Yep.
So Roquan Smith, you think George Kittle gonna break Roquan tackle? Nah, he ain't doing
Patrick
it. You don't
Queen,
think Kyle Hamilton? Patrick Queens? No. You don't think Kyle Hamilton can cover George Kittle? Yes, he can. So that YAC stuff is going to be out. So I want you to lower your expectations when it comes to the San Francisco 49ers. And George Kittle is a guy that I'm knocking down as a tight end. I think he'll be okay, but just lower your expectations. The only guy that I think can boom is CMC. He's a bad matchup for all those guys. Roquan can't guard CMC. Patrick Queen can't guard. So CMC is the only guy that I think is going to be a great. Even Ayuk, I think Ayuk could be fine. But Debo and Kittle will struggle.
I like it. I agree.
And go ahead. It's on you, Ig. I think it's your last one.
Yeah. I mean, are we going to? I guess it'd be tight ends now, right? You said
yes.
Right. I got the kicker in, man. This guy had 10 points, I think, last week. The Raiders kicker Daniel Carlson. I just think that they kind of come back to reality this week. He's been a dud, man. He's the perfect definition of boom or bust. He had his boom week last week. I think he made they had 7 touchdowns. So depending on your scoring and how that works out, he probably at least got you 7 points. But he was the number 1 kicker last year. He's an all-pro kicker. He's probably still in a lot of people's lineups just by the name alone. I just don't think he's going to do well. I think you got to get out of there. Like I said, go look at Younghoe Koo. He's available in a couple weeks because he had a couple bad weeks. And I think that there's, he can let you down. Like I said, when you get to these teams that make it to week 16, week 17, those, 4, 5, 7, 8 points, that's going to be the difference. You're probably not going to get blown out. You're probably not going to blow them out. It's going to be a small differences that get you to where you want to be. It's in the details. Any championship is in the details.
Right. What about you, Papa Chubb? Who's your tight end, Doug?
I'm fading any Bills tight end this week. I've been riding Kincaid for a while, and then Dawson Knox came back and kind of rained on that parade a little bit in his first week back. Last week, neither one of them did really much of anything because it was the James Cook show. And I think we might see another James Cook show in this matchup against the Chargers, who just got blown out by the Raiders, which is a much weaker offense. And I don't think they're going to be able to stop the Bills' run game at all. So Josh Allen's not going to have to throw much in this game. And if you think about game script, right, when you get into that fourth quarter and the Bills are up 20 points, they're going to be in clock killing mode, and that's not good for pass catchers. So, I think Diggs is probably in Josh Allen's ear this week going, yo, Josh, what's up, man? You forgot about me last week. It's the playoffs. My fantasy managers need me to get in the end zone. So I think Diggs gets the passing touchdown from Allen this week. And I'm out on the tight ends because it's looking like maybe a little bit of a timeshare. I mean, I can't say that with absolute confidence because I didn't really look at the snap share, but it's like now that Knox is back, I just don't see either one of these guys emerging as a boom. I think their ceilings are both lowered.
I agree with that. I wouldn't play. I thought Kincaid was going to eat, but I think they moved on to a run first type where it took away his targets, where they're giving it to James Cook and Latavius Murray now.
And he's also a little injured still, right? Kincaid's a little injured.
Yeah, is he? I thought he was healthy. Okay, is he still injured?
No, he's a little banged up. Yep.
Okay. Go ahead, JC. Who's your tight end?
I mean, I'm just going to go, since we're kind of talking about Howell not being the guy this week, kind of being a little down in the dumps. They get, they're playing against the Jets. I think I'm going to go with Logan Thomas. I mean, it's kind of down there a little bit, but it's either him or Dallas Goedert. Those are the kind of the guys I'm going to be sitting.
Right. I agree with that. I wouldn't play Dallas Goedert. A lot of people are like, but Dallas Goedert, I'm like, this ain't the same offense. This is a A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and DeAndre Swift offense. I'm not playing Dallas Goedert or Julio or anybody else.
The tush push offense.
I might even sit DeAndre Swift in some leagues. Just depends on what type of running backs I got. So All right, well, Iggy, if you need to get out of here, man, just get out of here when you can. I appreciate you, bro. Shoot out anything that you want to shoot out before you get out of here.
Yeah, man, we just got the sports affiliation. You can go to sportsaffiliation.com. Wrote about the Nuggets article, man. That bet hit. Jamal Murray over 19.5 points. Then, we also have all kinds of shows. We had Jim Coventry on yesterday on the Game Changers. You got Midweek Madness. We got tomorrow the Thursday check down with our Hall of Famer, Greg, man. JC and I will be on there as well with Tip. So make sure you come check that out. And JC
Scott Angle will be on the show.
Yeah, Scott Angle's going to be on another Hall of Famer. We got 2 original Hall of Famers on this week. So that's going to be kind of cool for fantasy sports enthusiasts. And then JC's going to have a box break after that. I'm thinking for the live game. It could be a pretty decent game this Thursday too. So, come check it out. We like to do that as well. And then, of course, if you have any questions, just send them over to @thesportsaffili. So it's just the sports affiliation, but it starts at the I. And we'll get back to you. One of our, we got a whole great group of people over there that are really knowledgeable. A lot of those people are still in the playoffs and fantasy football 7s and TD's leagues and JC's leagues, Scott Fishbowl. So a lot of great minds over there. And we also real quick have fantasy basketball going on. The draft's going to be the 28th. TD just joined, $10, winner take all kind of thing. Just trying to keep it fun, something to do until essentially the NFL draft, man. So it gives us a lot of fun, gives us a lot of carryover. Get your mind off of football for a little bit. So come join us over there.
Yep. Also, guys, Iggy has a charity league that I play in. I played in for the last 3 years. It's an IDP league, DST league. It's also based on, what is it based on, Iggy? What is that disease called?
Kawasaki's disease. Yeah,
Kawasaki. I had a and I'm not afraid to scare this. My son, I think he had COVID on the low. But that COVID symptoms was like Kawasaki. He broke out in hives and they couldn't find out what it was. And something told me to ask Iggy, and Iggy and his family helped me through that, guys. And that was just showing me like, okay, I understand what this is about. When your kid gets sick, that's huge. So I play in that league every year. Me, my girl, I invest in that. I actually even donate more because I understand what that's about. And it's also fantasy football. So guys, make sure you sign up for that. I will be shooting those links out to you to join that league. It's awesome. I want to win it. I missed the playoffs this year, but hopefully I'm gonna get a win in that league. I'm gonna get that championship. So
yeah, man, it'll be growing this year. 112. We're down to 28 people right now. So it's tough, man. I haven't made the playoffs the past 2 years in it, and it hurts me, man. It's like it's my home league, so I always want to win it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate you coming through.
Can I ask you something real quick?
Yeah, man.
Are you still doing the jailhouse bets? I hadn't been seeing that, and I really enjoyed it last year.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I've just been kind of taking a break from it. It's gotten a little busy, but I do sometimes. I either do jailhouse bets or slope side bets if I'm at work. I work at a ski resort, so I can just go outside and it looks pretty and talk about a bet. So,
nice, man. I love Colorado. I'm in Vermont, but that's my home away from home. I used to live in Telluride, and if I ever get out that way, I'm going to look you up, man.
Yeah, Telluride's right on the other side of the mountain of me, man. I live right there in that area, so it's my jam, dude. I found get in where you fit in. That's an important philosophy in life.
Keep getting that money, brother. This guy knows his bets, you guys. Make sure to follow him.
Mm-hmm. I appreciate it, guys. You guys have a great night. Good luck in your league.
You too.
Merry Christmas to everybody too, man.
Good luck, bro.
Yep. See you later. All right, guys. So we're gonna get through these questions, guys. I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna let everybody answer the question. We're not gonna answer the same question. So I'm gonna switch them up as we go through. So if you gotta leave, just let me know. No big deal. I appreciate everybody being here. But before you do leave, just make sure you shoot out your information or whatever you want to leave the crowd with. Whatever you want to say. Okay. Conscience says, hell yes, I need a live show. You know it, bro. I hope you're still here. But you know what I'm gonna do. You know how we do it here. He says, I'll be ready. And Ham says, by far my hardest week for decision making. This is you, Papa Chubb. Okay. By far my hardest week for decision making. Start 2 wide receivers, 2 RBs, and a flex and a tight end. JT, Chandler, Cup, Smith, McBride, Aaron Jones, ETN, Connor, Reed, Monty, Zeke, and Waller. Thanks, bunch.
I'm assuming that's Devonta Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, so looking at this list, you need 2 and a flex, 2 of each, a flex and a tight end. All right, I'm going to try to help you with this lineup, my boy. So, Ham, you got to start your studs. It's the playoffs. If JT's back and he's fully healthy, he's a must start. I'm going to say the same thing with McBride at the tight end position. Now, yeah, it's McBride over Waller, and that's not even a discussion. So you got JT in your RB1 spot. You got McBride in your tight end. Now, for your running back 2, we're looking at Aaron Jones, ETN, James Conner, Monty, or Zeke. I'm going to cross Zeke off that list. I just don't trust him or that New England offense. Man, TD was down on Monty in his bus, and TD knows his stuff. So we're going to X Monty out. And Etienne was my bust. So now we're looking at Aaron Jones or Connor or Ty Chandler. Man, Chandler did look good in that matchup last week. If he's the number 1 guy again, you've got a tough decision between him, Aaron Jones, who TD had as his boom this week. If you was listening to his spiel on Jones, he's high on him. And James Conner, who I've been riding all year, and I think is just a dog, and he's just going to give you hard runs every time he touches the ball. Who is Arizona playing this week, guys?
Oh, I think they played the Bears, which is a decent matchup.
They're at the Bears. So that doesn't really scare me off. And he gets all the red zone touches. Not really any competition in that backfield. Whew, man, I don't know. I think I'm going to flip a coin probably between Connor and Ty Chandler against the Lions. And if I had to pick one, it's just going to be Connor because that's my guy, and Chandler's kind of just a fluky late season playoff guy. But you know what? That's what it's all about in the playoffs. So I don't think you could go wrong with either of those guys. As much as I hate benching ETN, he just hasn't been getting it done for me the last couple weeks. So I'm going to go with JT and James Conner. And then real quick with the wide receivers, we said Jalen Reed's got to be in there. And it's got to be Devonta Smith over Cooper Kupp. No, because we're high on Stafford this week. So let's go Kupp, Reed in your wide receivers. Let's do Connor and JT. And then it's going to be McBride in the tight end position. Thanks, Ham. Appreciate you.
And got to do one flex.
Oh, well, if we were talking about the flex, then it's probably going to go back to either Kupp or Etienne. So whichever guy you like more. Or no, we put Kupp in. So Smith or Etienne, I'm probably going Etienne over Smith. So why don't go ahead and flex Etienne and hope he gets in the end zone again, because even though DeForest Johnson is there, he's not really cutting in too much. So
right.
Watch the quarterback news coming out about T-Law this week. If T-Law is not 100%, that offense might sputter. Then Etienne's chance of getting in the goal line is less. And at that point, maybe you want to think about flexing Devonta Smith or Aaron Jones. But if T-Law is fully healthy, I think that game could turn into a sneaky shootout with the Bucs. Might be a lot of points scored in that game. I'm not sure what the totals are, but I could see that game going over like 55, 60 points. So let's flex Etienne in that spot.
Right.
Man, T-Law coming off the ankle sprain through 50 passes.
I know. No doubt. Hey, he's a beast, man. When it comes to injuries, you can't say what you want to say about T-Law. When it comes to injury, he's a stud. He's like he got that Brett Favre type in him where he don't care nothing about no injuries or nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And now that Zay Jones is hurt, Ingram probably gonna have a good week this week, and maybe Etienne does catch a few more balls because the targets from Zay Jones are vacated. So
I agree.
The one thing I do like though, Zeke is kind of sneaky a little bit. He even though his rushing is like 2.5 or something like that, it's really low. He's had a lot of catches and he's done a lot with those catches. He's going against the 32nd ranked Denver defense against the run.
Right.
So, I mean, it's also there's an opportunity for that to happen. It is, you're right, that offense is not doing great. I do like me some Bailey Zappi, though.
Right.
As a Pats fan, I can definitely concur. We were happy to see Zappi come in. He looked good last week. He's not afraid to chuck it. They're kind of opening up the offense a little bit for him. Zeke was on my bench when he had his boom week, and then last week I started him and he didn't do much for me. So this week I'm kind of like, what? I don't know what you're gonna get. So yeah, I think that's a solid take, especially like you said, the matchup is tasty. So you wouldn't be wrong to start maybe Zeke over Connor in your RB2 spot there.
Right. To me, my two running backs would be Connor and Aaron Jones. Connor is getting all the workload. He's getting all the goal line carries. I would go with Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon's got a broken finger. He's going to catch passes, especially in full PPR. And that's close between Chandler. So you would have to choose between Chandler, Aaron Jones, and Connor. I would go with Aaron Jones and Connor. For my two wide receivers, I would do Kupp and Smith. I'm riding Kupp and Smith all day long. And for my flex, I would go with McBride. My flex would be Chandler. No, JT. My flex would be JT, and my tight end would be McBride. So I would have have JT, Aaron Jones, Connor, Kupp, Smith, and my tight end McBride. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Yeah. So you're starting Devonta Smith over Reed. What do you think on that, JC? You like Reed or Devonta Smith?
I mean, Devonta Smith, talent-wise, probably that. I mean, let's see. Who do they match up against this week? Hold on. I'm going to pull it up. I like Jaden Reed. If you're really looking for somebody that's going to, can potentially hit, he's been that guy. I mean, he might be a little banged up, but I know Wicks is banged up. We know that Christian Watson's out. AJ Dillon's out. I mean, if you're looking for somebody that could potentially get some targets, score a touchdown, it's probably going to be Reed. I mean, Smith is the number 14 overall wide receiver. Last few weeks, he's been kind of meh. They get the Giants. It really depends if that game gets going. If that game is slow to get going, there's not a lot of scoring in that game. That's the only thing I'm thinking about. I think Green Bay. I mean, same thing could happen with Carolina, right? That could just be a really slow game, but I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think the smarter move is probably Smith.
Right. I just like the number 2 wide receiver on the team because they get the least talented corner, and I don't mind playing number 2 wide receivers like Smith. He's very, very talented. Okay, let's move on. Nifty said, "What's good, bro? What's good with you, Nifty?" Nifty is in our best ball league, Papa Chuck.
Nice. I'm out this week, unfortunately. I barely snuck in the playoffs, and then I got bounced week 1 of the playoffs. But
I'm glad, man. I don't want to hear you boasting too much, man. I'm glad.
What?
Elisa says, Lockett, Flowers, or Reed. Thanks. We did that one already.
Yep.
Big Will, appreciate you, bro. Yep. Elisa says, thanks, God. Love the card. I collect them too. We did the Hawkinson and McBride. We did that one already. I just Mr. T, you said thanks, TD. I just want to go through my members. Okay, Elisa says, I have Cooks, Kyron, and Mixon and Connor in one of my 3-team leagues playing for the ship. I like that. Other guy that I'm down is Mixon. I'm just kind of guy where I'm just out on Mixon. I really don't like to play him. I don't care even after he has a good game or if he got a good matchup. I don't trust Mixon. I just don't, especially with Joe Burrow being out. So,
and
but
Chase
anyway,
Brown coming on.
Right, with Chase Brown coming on.
Chase Brown next year is going to smash Chase Brown. Get Chase Brown 0 RB, whatever. Dynasty League, snatch up Chase Brown next year. Buy him on the low now. The guy looks like a beast. I mean, he is just running people over.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right. Sport Dog says TD 100, 6 point. Guys, this is 6 point PPR here. 6 point PPR, 2 flex. I'm using Garrett Wilson and Todd Chandler. I also have Jaden Reed, Josh Palmer, and Gabe Davis. If Alexander Madison starts, do I switch out Chandler? Who would be your next choice? So he says, I'm using Garrett Wilson and Todd Chandler. I also have Jaden Reed, Josh Palmer, and Gabe Davis. And if Alexander Madison starts, do he switch out Ty Chandler? So what do y'all think? I say
doesn't matter, dude. Alexander Madison's a joke. He was my bust of the year going into the year. I'm a Vikings fan, and I'm gonna tell you right now, anybody who said or thought that he was gonna be something just because of opportunity never watched a Vikings game. Sorry, but he got good opportunities when Dalvin Cook went down. He kind of came in and teams didn't know who or what he was capable of, and he got a couple of easy holes and he would score a touchdown. He'd do like that maybe 1 or 2 weeks, and all of a sudden after that he'd go and he'd be really sad. And that's kind of who he is. He's just not good. Right. He likes to fumble the ball. So I mean, I would way rather stick with Ty Chandler. I mean, I'm surprised they haven't given Dwayne McBride a shot. I think that he's an opportunity that's just waiting. Right.
I wouldn't play Josh Palmer or Gabe Davis.
Yeah, if you're looking for volume, for a 6-point PPR, you just want targets and receptions. It's got to be Jaden Reed. I mean, Josh Palmer and Gabe Davis don't really get enough volume to give you a lot of value in that format. So I would switch him out for Jaden Reed. I mean, how many balls Ty Chandler catch last week, though? I was listening to that game on the radio when I was in the car.
Yeah,
and it was it looked like.
Yeah. I'm playing Ty Chandler regardless. Even if Madison comes back, I don't think he's going to take a lot of carries from Ty Chandler. They got to get the ball to Ty Chandler. He's very explosive. So I'm playing Ty Chandler over these guys regardless, except for Jaden Reed. But he got to practice. If he doesn't practice this week, I'm not playing him. If he go and it's a game time decision, I'm not playing him.
Jordan Love could come out and throw 2 touchdowns to Reed. I mean, when he plays down there in that area, he kind of you'll see him come out and he'll throw 3 touchdowns and then kind of in the second half tend to do nothing. You'll get some crazy stuff like that. You'll see Jordan Love 157 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half. You'll be like,
right. Correct.
Jaden Reed with 2 of them, and you're just like, oh shit.
Right. If he's healthy, I'm just worried about his health, his toe. That's only he.
Man, if it's not him, no Wicks, no him, no Christian Watson, I just think that game is gonna be terrible. I would be avoiding that game.
TZ says, Njoku going against Houston. This is you. You can do this from JC. Njoku going against Houston this week could be a tight end one. He's been getting targets and matchups, favors it. Okay, so I don't think that's the question.
Just boosted his value regardless.
Yeah, we're all in agreement there.
Oh yeah,
right. Let's see. Deal says, how do you guys feel about DJ Moore and Shaheed from the Saints this week?
I mean, he's your boom player, I guess. He's the guy you're expecting and hoping that he takes off. I mean, my favorite player from that team is A.T. Perry. So he's somebody that I was big on going into the year, just as a super skyrocket guy. And we kind of saw what he did when Michael Thomas went out a little bit. But I mean, I think I'd rather have DJ Moore here, if that's the question.
Yeah, just asking what you think. I think you got to play DJ Moore no matter what. I think he's just a boom play. You got to play him as a boom play. And if you play him, you can't worry about if he does you. Because that he could go out and only give you 4 or 5 points. But he could go out and give you 20 points. So you got to be ready to do that if you play Shaheed. But DJ Moore, that's easy. You start him on every single team. What you think, Papa Chuck?
Yeah, I mean, I have to think you might have a better option on your bench for Shaheed, since that's a deep flex guy.
Right.
You're trying to win a championship, so I would go with somebody that's a little more safe. So I'd want to maybe see the rest of your roster, Dill. But yeah, DJ Moore is a stud. I mean, him and Justin Fields are balling out, and they get the Cardinals this week at home. So yeah, definitely. I think DJ Moore could give you 30-40 points this week, my man.
Yes, sir. 40 points. TZ says, I don't know. I feel the Niners come out and make a statement win against the Ravens. They dominate. Niners have a full squad at home. Niners pull ahead and then force Lamar to throw, then just pin their ears back. It's possible. I'm not going to sit there and say that's not possible. I think the Ravens got a good defense. I don't think the 49ers go and get up that many points because the Ravens has a really good defense.
I mean, Trey McBride, didn't he just put up massive points against them last week?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct. Okay. KL says, Jalen Warren, Todd Chandler, and Jerick McKinnon must win. Pick one to start.
Well, Pacheco's back this week, isn't he?
I don't think that
They
matters.
said he might be.
Let me
They
tell you
said he
about
might
the
be.
playoffs. Look at last year. The last 4 games last year, Jerick McKinnon had RB1, and I think it was like RB 20 something, and then week 17 it was like RB8 or something like that. Yeah,
He's part of the reason I got that ring right
that's
there.
with Pacheco
Right.
starting. That's with
Yeah.
Pacheco starting. He played those
Right.
games.
Right.
So I mean, McKinnon's another guy like just like kind of like Singletary. He's kind of like that guy. It's like, all right, well, if I need a guy in the flex, and I know, I mean, you could potentially be missing, but like he's the guy that if you go look at history, he's done it. So I like that.
Definitely over
Chandler,
Warren. Definitely over Warren. Warren's out.
probably the guy.
So to pick one, I think we're between McKinnon and Chandler, right? TD, who you going with out
Yes.
of those two?
I'm going with Ty Chandler. I'm riding a hot hand. I'm going with Ty
Chandler too, just because he's going to probably most likely be the starter, regardless if Madison is there.
Agreed. I think he gets the most volume in this offense, and like they don't want to chuck it a lot with Mullins, so he's probably going to get somewhere between like 14 to 18 carries in that game, and probably like 4 or 5 targets, right? If so, they're playing the Lions.
Can't trust McKinnon. Yeah. Right. I just can't trust McKinnon. I know he gets the honey touches, but him throwing a touchdown and don't get into the game until he get to the 5-yard line and then he get a toss. I don't want to play. I don't want to do that in my fantasy football.
I don't want a touchdown. That shit's so good. He had 2 passes, dude. 2 passes. Both completed.
Right. I just probably would go with Ty Chandler and go with the boom guy. I think he can get out in space against this Detroit Lions defense. Appreciate that, Jerry. Jerry says the intro was fire. Appreciate that, bro.
Jerry's in the house.
Kale says Chris Godwin, Nico Collins, Chris Olave, Romeo Dobbs must win. Pick 2 to start PPR. I'm going with Chris Olave and Chris Godwin. I don't know about Nico Collins coming back off the injury.
Same, and it looks like Stroud's out this week. I'm with TD on that one.
Dobbs.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're good. I'm a big Dobbs fan.
Harambe said, bro, what's going on? What's going on, Harambe?
What up, homeboy?
Nifty said, what's good, bro? Charlene, this girl right here, very knowledgeable. She won't come up on the live, but she got great intel. She says, picked up Josh Allen in the 3rd round of the draft. I'm 12-2. We know you killing it.
Go, girl. Do your thing.
Jerry's the man, dude. Jerry comes on a lot of our breaks, dude. Jerry's an amazing person. Good supporter.
Yes, sir, Jerry. Glad to see you here. Glad you pulled up to the show, bro. He said, JT in the house. 7, I'm gonna call you, bro. 7 says, I lost last week by 0.82 and just started seeing your video. Saw some you posted before my matchup. Which would you have helped me? Subscribe. Can't wait for next year. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I'm not right all the time, but I do think I'm about 65 to 70% most of the time.
Hey, that's all that matters, dude. As long as you're above 50, I think most bettors are like at 54%, 56%.
Right.
So
you can't predict this. You can't predict this shit. You got it. All you can do is go down with the ship. That's what I say all the time. Go down with your guys. 7 says still in it for my other league. Yes, sir. Kale says, do you ride with Lamar this week versus the 49ers? I am. I don't know how the other guys feel.
Absolutely.
Armado, what's up, bro? He said, what's up, bro? How y'all feeling about Todd Chandler as an RB2? I'm feeling good about him as an RB2. He boomed. Don't get cute. Don't watch a matchup. When a guy booms like that, this is the NFL. They got to play the guy. If they go out and get this guy like 8 carries, then that's showing you they got bad coaching. I don't believe it. I believe this guy was going to touch the ball 15 or 20 times, and he's going to catch a lot of passes in full PPR.
Yeah, he's talented. I mean, Ty Chandler was a guy that was on my radar in the preseason, right?
Right.
Because, like JC said, Madison just isn't it. He's not him. He's not that guy. So knowing that, I said, well, who's the next man up? And it was Ty Chandler. And now it took all season, but guess what? If you got him on your team now, congratulations. You might have yourself a league winner here going down the stretch.
Yes, sir. Balling in your flex down the stretch. And he says, I have Zamir White, but Jacobs might come back and Rocho. I see Justice Hill, Kareem Hunt, and Chase Brown on waivers. I'm playing Todd Chandler over those guys. I'm not playing Zamir White this week. Last week I played him, but I'm not playing him this week. And I'm not playing Roshan Johnson because I think he's just a really great blocker for Justin Fields. This team is built around Justin Fields and pushing the ball downfield to DJ Moore.
Yeah, I got Q played Chase Brown last week, and it really hurt me. I'll tell you, don't do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. Charlene says, I don't trust Keenan Allen this week. I will put Josh Palmer, then Allen. Yeah, I'm not playing anybody from the Chargers.
Easton Stick.
Yeah, I'm not playing anybody from the Chargers. TZ says, okay, guys, love the show tonight. The more info and the different perspective is more appreciative. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Thanks, G-Man.
TZ says, one flex question. Drake London, Jaden Reed, or Zeke for PPR?
Ooh.
I'm going with, if Jaden Reed is healthy, I'm probably going to tell you to play him. But if he's not healthy, if he don't practice Friday, I probably would go with, man, since it's the flex, I'm going to put Drake London. I feel like you're going to win by putting Drake London in your flex. That's just me. I'm not going, Zeke floor is too low for me just to say put him in. I'd rather go down with the shit with Drake London.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Reed, London, Zeke. I mean, if you want guaranteed touches, go Zeke. But, I mean, like we said, I mean, potentially Reed could get – I mean, he's had a lot of touchdowns in the last couple of weeks. London had that massive boom week 2 weeks ago. I mean, they get – I don't know. It is tough, though. It's still the Falcons' offense.
Well, but it's Heineke this week, right? So what do you think? Do you think he gets an upgrade with Heineke?
Yes.
I mean, he's a gunslinger, man. He might be pushing it down the field.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I think I kind of agree too.
But I don't. It's all about Jaden Reed's injury history. If Jaden Reed is healthy, then I'm playing Jaden Reed. But if he doesn't practice Friday, I can't play him. I can't play a rookie that hasn't practiced all week and think he's gonna go out there and get alpha targets like he's Stephon Diggs.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree. It's Reed, London, and then Zeke for me.
Right. Do y'all believe he's going to be healthy this week? Do y'all believe he's going to play?
I mean, they kind of need to win, so I would say yes.
Okay.
I mean,
he
like I
left the
said,
game
if it's
early.
Wicks, Christian Watson's out. They got Wicks as their number 4 guy. He's potentially out. I mean, it's just Dobbs. They put out Jordan Love out there, and then, Dylan's hurt. I mean, you're going to be –
right.
I mean, you could reach. I mean, they got some tight ends that are pretty decent that could catch the ball, but I still think, man, like you need Reed. I mean, Reed is kind of that guy who can make things happen.
Right.
He's very dependable. He's got great hands.
Tucker Kraft had a good game this last week, but they're saying maybe the other tight end Musgrave might be coming back. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the Reed injury too much. I don't think it's too major from what I'm reading. So I think he's going to they're probably resting him. If he practices Friday, he should be in there. Like you said. I'm just worried that he left the game early. Usually when you leave the game early, that's so. But if he plays, I definitely love him. He's a top 24 wide receiver if he's healthy. Yeah, and I think I just want to say too, guys, going back to our Zeke conversation, he's come up a couple of times, and I don't want to undervalue Zeke this week in a good matchup at home.
Yeah,
I mean, we know. Let's look at what New England does. The offense runs the ball, right? And Bailey Zappi's got the offense running better. And, Robert Kraft wants to put a good product on the field. As a Pats fan myself, it's been a rough year. You know what I mean? And so these guys are not tanking. The Pats have never been a team to tank. They're playing to win.
Right.
I think it's going to be a lot of 3-and-outs for the Denver Broncos, and the Patriots offense are going to have their opportunity. So I see Zeke down at the goal line, and he might have another big receiving game. So even though it took me a little while to kind of come to this conclusion, I'm starting to warm up to Zeke, and I think he could be in line for another big week.
Right. Yeah, I know he's going to get, like JT said, he's going to get the touches.
Targets, man. He's had a lot of targets since, Ramondre Stevenson's been out. Five targets, 8 targets, 6 targets, 4 catches, 7 catches, 5 catches. Like, that's That's a lot.
huge.
That's good.
Yeah.
Listen,
I
PPR.
agree with that. It just depends on who they like. Drake London, I'd rather play a Drake London than Dads can boom.
Right. One
In the
long
fantasy
TD.
football playoffs.
Yeah.
Right.
All he needs is one,
Right. TZ says, thoughts on sleeper wide receiver this week. Washington from the Jacksonville going against the Tampa Bay defense. He has taken the Kurt role. So he said, thoughts on Washington from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
If you need someone,
I think it's somebody else out there better to play. That's me. I wouldn't play Washington.
Yeah, Washington defense has been soft most of the year.
No, I think they talking about Parker. I think he's talking about
Parker Washington. He's a rookie.
Parker Washington.
Oh, he's talking about the number 11 receiver there. Yeah, he's getting those like bubble screens and stuff. He's not really doing much with it though.
Though. That matchup is mouth-watering.
Maybe he gets an uptick if Zay Jones doesn't go. I think the only way you can feel good about playing Washington is if Zay Jones is out.
Right. I wouldn't play him regardless. I think now if he's the best wide receiver you got, then yeah. But I wouldn't play him. I would try to go. Yeah, I would rather play somebody like Curtis Samuel or somebody like that.
I'm gonna tell you. Sometimes if there's a good matchup, I'm gonna tell you I've won a league with Olamide Zacchaeus as my wide receiver 2 or 3. So I mean, if opportunity is there and you see a matchup and you don't have anybody else, I mean,
there you go.
He hasn't been bad. He's done actually pretty damn well for a rookie. And
right.
I mean, when he gets the opportunity, like you said, if Zay Jones don't play, and Zay's kind of just been
right.
Yeah, you could do worse for sure. You could definitely do worse. You just have to see what else is on your bench. Like,
I agree.
If I got a Curtis Samuel or maybe even like a Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's a guy that I'm like, I keep going back and forth with because he had to go and have that good week last week, but that was because Brissett came in. So now it's like he's going against that Jets secondary. I think he's probably going to be on my bench, but he could have another big week. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, dude.
Right.
If CJ Beathard plays too, like I think then you get your backup guys who are gonna like you'll see like Jamal Agnew score a touchdown or something like that, or Washington, like those are going to be the guys that they practice a lot with the backup quarterback. So sometimes you'll see that happen, like right away, a guy coming in, he's going to target the guys that he feels the most comfortable with right away. Right. And then you'll see, Calvin Ridley get ripped over the middle and go long.
It's the year of the backup quarterback. TD, go back one. I think we skipped a question when we were talking.
Okay.
Can you go back?
Yes, I can. To what was the question about?
The one right before this one. You put it up, but then we were talking about something else.
Yeah, I'm not starting Shaheed. If Jaden Reed's available and you want to start him, I love him.
Other wideouts.
And then we had that one, the Drake London one.
Yeah, I think it was that one. I think he was telling us his other wideouts, but I can't remember his original question.
Dill's other question earlier was DJ Moore or Shaheed from the Saints. So that's the last one I saw from him.
Oh, so I'm going I would go London or Reed over Shaheed.
No, we're talking about Dill Devoted. He's the one who said other wideouts are Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Shaheed on the bench.
So then Jaden Reed and DJ Moore if Reed is healthy.
Yeah, Jaden's gonna play, dude. They have to win. They need to get a win.
Okay.
Yeah. I just see. I mean, it's an ankle sprain. I mean, I should feel like it's probably not going to be too bad. Maybe if he was out a little bit. I mean, they play Sunday. He'll play.
Yeah, they play Sunday. No, do they play Sunday or Saturday? Yeah, they play Sunday. Yeah.
Off the top of your head, do you guys know who the Saints play this week?
Oh, we've just been talking about it. They play.
No, I don't. They play the Rams.
Rams, yeah, it's tomorrow.
At the Rams.
Yes, tomorrow.
Thursday Night Football. Can we trust Olave? Can we trust Olave in that?
I think that secondary on the Rams has been exploited, so I would say most likely yes.
Carr seems to be improving as the season goes on. He took it forever to get started, but
surprisingly,
I can't trust Carr at all. I don't trust him at all.
Okay,
I don't trust him at all. But I will play Olave. It just depends on what other wide receivers I have.
Yeah.
TZ says, just got to say your show lit tonight, TD. These guys know their stuff. Everyone should appreciate the show tonight. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I know it's a little longer. It's a little longer, but I wanted to do this differently. So I think it's good to have a different perspective.
Did he send you $10 there or something? He's got
he did. He did. Hey, my homie always showing support, man. TZ always showing support. Man.
Thank you for the support, bro. But this is cutting edge content, guys, and I just want to thank TD for having me on. I'm having such a good time. This is my first time doing a live stream like this, and I just am just grateful for TD. I mean, I caught his show on Facebook and immediately just took to it because, you know, a lot of the cookie cutter guys on XM Radio and these other shows, they're all saying the same shit. And TD's going to give you a different take. He's going to give you a different perspective. And honestly, that helped me win some leagues last year. And like you said, TD, you're not going to hit on every guy, and I might not take every single take and run with it. And there might be some things that I feel differently about. That's fantasy football. Right. But at the end of the day, we need to take all the different perspectives, and then we got to come up with our own, you know?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I think what makes me have a niche is just I have a different perspective. I'm not going to sit here and say, I do think I'm good at what I'm doing. It's because I like to break down the players, not necessarily who's going to be the best fantasy football player, but me just watching the players perform. I do love watching the players and having a different take on them and saying this guy's good, this guy's not that good. I do think I do have a niche for that. But far as who's going to be the number one fantasy output and what's going to happen, I don't know. Nobody knows that shit. We just have to go down with your guys. I'm not gonna sit here and say, play this guy over this guy. I don't know. Go down with your guy. I'm a Lamar Jackson guy. I believe he's extremely talented. And one thing that I can say, if you want to go off analytics, is when he play tough teams, he do ball out. But does that mean that he always is gonna have a great? When I say start him, that he's gonna ball out? No, it doesn't always mean that. But I'm okay with it. So let me see. We'll get to a couple more questions, guys, and then we're gonna get out of here. Okay.
Did you get Ronald's right before that one?
Oh, I didn't. I got to go back. Yeah, I got to go back. Ronald's at the bottom. You're good. Yeah. Now you good. Motto says, what defense y'all like? Eagles or Browns?
Oof, Eagles have been one of the worst defenses in the league this year. I'll tell you. And I drafted them early. It sucks. In FF7s, I drafted them early, and they have just destroyed me in that league. Oh, from how good they were last year.
Right.
They're bad this year. Eagles good.
Actually, I might go with the Eagles with the Giants. I might go with the Eagles over the Browns.
Dude, DeVito, man.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles. Who you going with, Papa Chubb?
I'm probably gonna go with the Browns just because CJ Stroud is out this week. You know, I don't think Houston's really gonna be able to put up more than 10, 15 points. And you know, with Garrett's pass rush, he's looking at defensive player of the year. I think he probably gets at least 2 sacks in that game. So
I like that.
Give me the Browns.
I agree on the Browns. I mean, I don't mind the Eagles, but Tommy DeVito, Tommy Parmesan, Tommy Parm, dude, my guy Tommy, dude. Oh man, you can go with what everybody else says. I'm calling it Tommy Parmesan, dude.
Tommy Parmesan
right now. Good sound cutlets, man. Who wants cutlets? I need some parm, a nice parm sandwich, baby. Tommy Parm, right. Nice and warm, makes you feel good after you eat it. You know, that's what I need. This kid's gonna be something special. I know they're probably gonna go out and draft a quarterback probably early, but I don't know, man. I hold on to this kid. He could be like that. I mean, he's not super great, but he's been doing really good for what this team has to offer.
He's a rookie. He's a rookie.
And what the team has to offer, you know, like they don't have like awesome big name receivers, you know, like Brock Purdy has, right? You know, like this kid's just got, you know, like, and I like Wan'Dale. I like Wan'Dale Robinson a lot. I think he's really good, and I like Hyatt a lot too. I think that these players can turn around and be something good next. If they go out and spend up on like a decent man, they could get a high-end wide receiver right away and give that to them. Put that in there with the other guys you got. You still you probably can retain, you know, your running back you have there, and just run with the, you know, cheap ass quarterback you have, and just see what you got. And if it doesn't work this next year, at least you have a top end wide receiver, and you go into the draft again and get a quarterback if you need to. I mean, that's just something I'm thinking about.
Right. Amato also says the Chiefs. I will go with the Chiefs over the Browns and Eagles. The Chiefs are playing the Raiders. I don't expect Aiden O'Connell, even though he had a great game. I think it was just a matchup. So I will go with the Chiefs.
Yeah, they played the Chargers.
They got Nick Bolton back at middle linebacker. And
right. I know you know that because you got Nick Bolton on your team. I know you
on
know
about every single one of my teams.
that. 7 says JSN or T. Higgins for PPR. Thanks. I'm going with JSN. That's cutting edge content. I'm going with JSN.
Yeah, I go JSN too. I agree with you here.
I gotta go T just because that's my boy, and I'm firing him up this week. I'm gonna ride or die with him. He made some pretty spectacular catches last week. Browning has been getting better every single week. I don't think you could go wrong with either one, especially with JSN and his momentum coming off that game-winning touchdown. But yeah, Seattle, with Geno in and out, and then it's Locke and it's Geno. The run game looks good. I think Seattle's going to be more run heavy, whereas maybe Browning's going to have to air it out more. So give me T. Higgins.
Right.
Is Drew Lock starting this week? If Drew Lock starts this week, I like JSN.
I think it's going to be Geno. I think
they said Geno. I don't care. I don't care if it's Geno or Pete Carroll. I'm still going with JSN. Pete. I love Pete, man. Pete, one of the best.
He's got so much energy.
That was a fun game to watch, man. That was a great game.
It's a big win.
Huge.
TZ says, all you need to know about TD was on the hill and Amon-Ra hard before the season started than most of all teams I have. That combo in the semis, so Resort sold me. So it was easy for people to draft Tyreek this year, but I was on Tyreek like 3 years ago as the number one wide receiver before anybody was talking about drafting him in a first round. Most people were drafting Tyreek Hill maybe in the second round, like the 2-3, 2-4. I said, guys, he's the best player in the NFL. I believe that he's a top 5 offensive player of all time. I think he's up there with like Barry Sanders, Jerry Rice. Guys, that speed, it affects the field. That's why Tua is great. That's why Tua, and I won't say great, but that's why Tua is having a big time last 2 seasons because of Tyreek. That's why Mike McDaniels paid him $130 million. Mike McDaniels like, I'm not coming here to Miami without Tyreek Hill. So I love Tyreek Hill. So I've been on Amon-Ra. I got beat by him his rookie year, and that broke me. I'm like, who is this guy to come in week 11 and balling out and beat me in the fantasy football I thought I was going to get my first fantasy football championship, and he whooped me. He went for 30 points every single game. And I just watched him, man. His work ethic was big. So that's why I was on Amon-Ra. So Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra was my number 1 and number 2 picks. It didn't work out for me in Papa Chubb League. I got scared and I drafted Justin Jefferson. I think somebody already had Tyreek Hill as a keeper, though. So that's the main reason why I drafted Justin Jefferson. But I think that if you got Tyreek Hill and you got Amon-Ra, I think that's a champion. I think you got to be in the playoffs or on your way for a championship, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we redrafted right now for the season, you're probably going CMC and then Tyreek Hill, right?
Right.
So, and that's not where he was being drafted. He was being drafted somewhere between probably 8 and 12.
In best ball, he was going like 1-6, 1-7.
Okay.
In best ball leagues. And that's the reason why I say that, because that's money leagues, right? That's money leagues, a lot of professionals. He was going about 1-6, 1-7. After 1-6 or 1-7, I couldn't get him anymore.
Well, look what's happening now, man. Mahomes is falling off this year, bro.
Right.
I put all my chips in on Mahomes in these dynasty leagues, and now I'm like looking around and like Brock Purdy is balling out, and Mahomes is like QB 10 or something on the year. Like he is not putting up the numbers that I expected, and I think a big part of that is because he doesn't have wide receivers around him now. So, was it Belichick? Was it Brady? Was it Mahomes? Or was it Hill? I think a lot of that, his success was on Hill, and I mean, now we're kind of seeing the decline of Kelsey and Mahomes, but I'm hoping now that we're into December, almost January, that now is the time that, the cream is going to rise to the top. I mean, I don't think that this is going to be a trend, but they got to get some better wide receivers in Kansas City.
We talked about this. I think it was real quick before we move on to the next question. We talked about with T. Higgins going to Kansas City. Did I say that T. Higgins was going to Kansas City? I think you said something about T. Higgins going there.
You said he was going to go, and I said I hope as hell that he does because I've got Mahomes and T. Higgins, and that would be a 6 stack.
Right.
They need a guy like that. They need an alpha.
Do.
I mean,
they do.
Sky Moore
right.
Rice is good, but like Rice keeps fumbling the ball too. Like
they do.
I don't think Rice. You can't build an offense around Rice. Like he's more of a slot guy. They need a big guy on the outside that can win and go up and get it. And you know that ain't Kelsey just dropped a TD in the end zone last week, and you know, I mean Kelsey is Kelsey, but he can't do it himself. They need to have another threat. So. As much as I love Rashee Rice, I think he is a perfect wide receiver too. They need to go out and get a 1 for Mahomes next year, or they're going to have a similar result to what they have this year, and they are not going back to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
I agree. But I wouldn't doubt them if they did, because Pat Mahomes can make any type of play at any point in time.
I think the Baltimore defense, though, TD, like you said, the way they're playing, you know, that's going to give them the edge. If it's going to be Baltimore and Chiefs, I give Baltimore the edge in that game.
I agree. KO says Nick Mullen, Flacco, Jordan Love, pick 2, start Superflex. I'm going with Jordan Love, and I'm going with Nick Mullins.
Joe Flacco. Joseph Flacco. Jordan Love.
Yeah, I mean, again, at Houston, without C.J. Stroud, Flacco's going to be on the field.
Uh-oh. He dropped out.
Yeah, he dropped out.
All right. That happens.
Yeah, it happens. Let's see. Amato says, plus we liking Purdy as a smash. I'll have T-Law, but probably won't play. So we like
you
Purdy.
Said you were off on Purdy this week, right?
Didn't you I'm not playing. Yeah, I'm not playing Purdy, but I respect another guy trying to play Purdy. I'm not telling anybody to sit Purdy, right? I just want people to lower their expectations on him. I wouldn't sit him. If I hit him as my number 1 quarterback, I'm starting him.
Yeah. Just the amount of players you have on that offense is just any given Sunday with that offense.
Right. I'm going to pick a couple more questions, JC, and then we're going to get out of here.
Are you good, man?
Okay. Charlene says, be careful with the 49ers players. Shanahan pulls players out. Not good for fantasy. He does, especially he don't want his players to get hurt. They got a trend of getting players hurt. Robbie says, what are we thinking Mahomes does on Christmas? Is he going to diva it out or ball out? I don't know.
Is he going to be the Grinch? Just like they got him on Sleeper, they got him as the Grinch.
He's going to try to make plays. I know that. He's going to try to make plays against the Raiders. I know that. That's all I can say. He's going to try to make plays. I'm starting him. If you got him as your number 1 quarterback, that's all you can do is start him.
You have to start him. He has had a couple dud weeks, but it's still Patrick Mahomes. It's like you're going to be really mad at yourself if you sit him over someone else.
Right. Danny says, first time in here, Hubbard or Thielen? I'm going with Hubbard.
Yeah, I'm going Hubbard too. Guaranteed shares, guaranteed touches.
Right. B. Growing says Nico Collins or Zay Flowers for flex. I'm going with Zay Flowers.
I'm going Zay too. Nico might not even play, right?
Right. Harambe says, welcome, Danny. He's telling Danny he's glad he's here. Stacking James Cook. Vito says in 4 PPR, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Breach, Zeke, Chandler, Taylor, Cooper, London, Godwin. I'm going with Jonathan Taylor. My flex is going to be Breach, and my 1 wide receiver is going to be. I'm going with London. I'm going with Taylor, Breach, and London.
Yeah, I think I'm going to agree here. I mean, I like the upside of Ty Chandler. I mean, you can't go wrong with the floor Zeke if you want that, but I'm going to have to agree with you. You can't sit Breece Hall.
No, you can't. Not with that matchup that he got against the Washington Commanders. Lisa says, I have Cooks, Kyron, Mixon, and Connor, 3 teams play. Okay, yeah, we did that one already. Appreciate you, Conscious. Ali Baba says start 2 PPR: Connor, Gibbs, Pollard, Jonathan Taylor, Chuba. I'm going with Gibbs, Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, that's all you need to start. Yeah, I mean, you only got to start 2. I mean, I like you have to start Taylor if he starts. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs has just been, if you look at his stats, he actually is having a better season than Bijan Robinson. And our guy, Greg Kellogg, said that before the start of the season. He said, I'd rather have Jahmyr Gibbs over Bijan Robinson. And I'm like, that is very bold. And it's actually turned out right.
100% correct.
That's why he's a Hall of Famer. Fantasy football or Fantasy Sports Writing Association Hall of Famer.
Right.
If you know who Matthew Berry is, he is an inaugural Hall of Famer with Matthew Berry. So,
yeah. Browns, Conscious Machine says Brown D or Packers D. I'm going with the Packers D against the Carolina Panthers.
100%.
Ali says Bears or Colts. I'm going with the
Bears, probably.
Bears. I'm going with the Bears too. I'm going with the Bears. Dollar Bill says lot lizards. I don't know what he mean by that. Chris says Aaron Jones or Montgomery. I'm going with Aaron Jones.
Agreed.
Ali says Hawkinson, Laporta. I'm going with Laporta.
Yeah, flip a coin. I mean, regardless, I think they're both gonna pop off.
Right.
Can you get one? Can you get them in the flex? If you got something else, start them both.
DST question: got outbid for the Jets, Commanders, Houston, and Seattle on the waivers. I probably would go with Seattle. Seattle playing the Titans.
Yeah, I'm going that route.
Let me see. Harami says Kittle or Waller. I'm going with. I'm still going with Kittle.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah, I'm still. Even though I think Kittle might have a down week, I can't play Waller over him. My opponent has Purdy, but I feel Waller might be the green apple with PPR goodness. He could be, but I'm not. I can't sit Kittle in a championship. Going to the championship.
Peppered. He's peppered.
Oh, go get peppered. Okay, right. Waller might get peppered with PPR.
I don't think
goodness.
it even matters.
I don't think so either.
Man, Waller's been so not, dependable. You just like all of a sudden it'd be like, all right, well, about halfway through, he's hurt again. Like,
Right. James says New England or Chicago D.
Patriots.
Let me see.
Patriots. They get Denver.
Yeah, I think I might have to go with the Patriots. I think I got to go because Denver can be shut down. I think I'm going with the Patriots too.
Yeah, it's so crazy. They're so bad this year. It's just like Belichick is just like, or is the cliff has just hit. He's just done. He's gonna go to the Chargers. He'll be a Chargers coach. Watch that. I heard somebody else might be there too. Harbaugh.
Right. I don't know if Harbaugh leaves Michigan. They still in negotiations with their contract, so I don't know if he's going to leave. I think he's playing hardball, no pun intended, to try to get a good deal in Michigan because they pay more in college than they do in the pros.
Yeah, him with Herbert though, man, that would be special.
Right. James says Raiders was a phenomenal call last week. TD, thank you. Anytime, bro. Max says Lockett, Sutton, Pickens, Bateman, Gabe Davis. Choose 2. I'm going with Sutton and Lockett.
If that's Rashad Bateman, I would just like never play him.
You can't play Gabe Davis either.
No, not playing him either. I think, I don't even mind Pickens. I don't mind Pickens if you want to play Pickens.
Right. I don't mind that. I see what you're saying, but I'm going with Lockett. I think he's going to get more targets or safer targets than Pickens.
Yeah, I agree. I like Lockett. I mean, I like Pickens too. I mean, Sutton's been really special. I mean, if you're playing that defense, though, if you're playing Patriots defense, you might want to be a little bit hesitant. I mean, I think that Pickens is pretty damn good. Sutton's just been stud this year.
Right. Liam says pick 2 running backs and half PPR. Saquon, Mixon, Jacobs, Todd Chandler, and Tajay Spears. I'm going with Saquon and let's see who Cincinnati's playing.
Pick 2 RBs.
Saquon, and let me see,
Jacob's coming off the injury. I might be a little hesitant on him.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with
Mixon's
Saquon and Ty Chandler.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I mean, Mixon's been really good. Did he have a bad week last week? No, I don't think so.
No, he didn't, but he's going against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is a rival game.
Yeah, it could be very low scoring. Let's see what.
Right.
Yeah, he had a really low scoring game against them last time. I think you're right. I think we go Saquon and Ty Chandler here. Play it safe. I mean, Mixon can have a big game. You'd be mad, but I think that either two players that you play, you'll get just pretty adequate points compared to what he'll get or more.
Right. Max says Kyron Pollard or JT bench one. I would bench Pollard. Yeah, Pollard.
Yeah. Ty Chandler's outscored Pollard. Last week, Ty Chandler outscored Pollard, and it hurt me.
Yeah. Pollard ain't been – I mean, he had a couple good games the last couple of weeks. I mean, last month or so. Purdy second in pass yards, but last in attempts. His guys yak or wild. I agree.
That's all right with me.
Okay. Max says DJ Moore going off. Okay, that's we already got that. And I don't know if y'all know. Jelly says need quarterback. Can't play Howell in waivers tonight. Can't play Howell in waivers tonight. What order put in? Baker versus Jacksonville, or Love versus Carr, or Mullins versus Detroit? I'm gonna go with Love versus Carr.
Yeah, I don't mind Baker or Love. So, I mean, Love, we talk about versus Carolina. Love could put up, he could probably put up 3 touchdowns in the first half. He's had games like that when he played down in the southern teams. He's been doing pretty well down there. Baker, though, I mean, Baker's, kind of staying in his area, so it's going to be he'll be used to the weather. He'll be good, I don't mind Baker either. So, I mean, between those two, it's one of those two. I don't think I'm playing Howell this week. I wouldn't feel very comfortable playing Howell this week, regardless of how well he's done this year. I don't like the matchup one bit. Mullins, I'm not touching that.
Right. I like Mullins, but I'm not over Love. I like Mullins. He got some weapons, and Detroit secondary can be had.
Yeah, Love, the only thing you're worried about is not him potentially not having anybody to throw.
No weapons. I agree.
Yeah, that's it.
Brian says Kraft if Reed and Watson is out over Kincaid.
Oh, Kincaid might be out, so if Kincaid's out, you're going to have to.
Yeah, Kraft if Reed and Watson out over.
Kraft has done all right. I mean, he's had some opportunities.
Yeah, he's done okay. I didn't know if you was putting him at the tight end or the flex. If at the tight end, yeah, I'm willing to play Kraft at the tight end, but don't put him in as a flex. Unless it's tight end premium.
Mm-hmm.
Danny says, what you guys thinking about K9? Is he back? Yeah, he's a starting RB. So you got to play him as a starting RB. He's a top 24 running back.
Talking about Kenneth Walker?
He's a starter. Yeah, K9.
Oh man, he's one of my favorite, man. I collected a lot of his rookie cards too, dude. Here you go. This is one of my favorites right here. It's called a zebra card. That's my boy Kenneth Walker right there. I got a lot of his rookie autos too, man. I love me some Kenneth Walker. Yeah, he's the truth, dude. Charbonnet is definitely. I thought Charbonnet was going to come in and take some of this work away from him, but I'm going to tell you right now, he is not.
No, he's not.
He's not what Kenneth Walker is. Kenneth Walker.
No, he's too explosive. K9 is explosive. Charbonnet just a good solid running back. K9 is fast.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Anderson, what's up, Burberry? He says, yo, Higgins, Ayuk, or Waddle? Pick 2. I'm going with Waddle.
Then Ayuk.
And Ayuk. I'm going with Waddle and Ayuk.
Tough matchup, but with Dallas, but I think I think that Waddle can still play decent.
Mr. Anderson says Waller, Otten, Hudson, or Everett. I'm going with. I'm willing to go with Waller in this situation.
I don't know. Let me look at K-Dot, and I hate saying something like that, but
I got you. I understand what you're saying. I'm going with Waller.
I mean, it's Darren Waller. I mean, it's not like it's not terrible. I mean,
right.
So, I mean, I don't love Otten. I'm not going with Hudson. Everett, let me just look at him real quick. But still, they get what Eastern Stick. I mean, if you look at his last 3 games, he's been tight end 16, 21, 14, but that's still 8 points, 9 points. I mean, all these other guys are probably going to get you about the same amount. It's a pretty good floor over the last 3 weeks. It's kind of safe. It's still Easton Stick. Keenan Allen could potentially be out. I don't hate it. I don't love any of these options, and I'm not playing Waller. Remember, he's coming off coming back from injury?
Yes. He's on a limited snap basis.
You're going to really be Waller can be a great guy, but you're going to be really mad at yourself, during the championship if Waller is just like, I can't go anymore. And, and
give you a 0.
Quarter, you're like, no.
Right. All right, guys, we're going to go. It's 11:23. We're going to go about 3 more minutes, and then we're going to get out of here, guys. So I'm trying to pick a couple
tips.
Let me see. Zach says Ty Chandler or Zach Moss. I'm going with Ty Chandler.
Yes, 100%. Zach misses. You're right about that. Zach miss.
Zach Seaman says Jaden Reed, Odell Beckham, or Nico Collins. I would say Jaden Reed if he's healthy. If he's not healthy, then I'm going with Odell Beckham.
Yeah, I like that order. The way you got it right now.
Zach says A-Chain is questionable. Do you think A-Chain would be good against the Cowboys? Yes, I do. I think he will have a good game. I think they need him, especially with Tyreek Hill's injury. As long as he's practicing, and haven't seen anything new that he's not practicing.
I mean, they should. It's a hell of a good matchup against the Cowboys. Their secondary is better than, their rush D.
Mr. Anderson says, I just need a safe play at tight end. I'm good everywhere else. I think you would. If you're good everywhere else, I think you should play Waller.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, if you want something safe, I just feel like, 8, 9 points. I don't hate it, man. I don't hate it. I mean, you're still Easton Stick, and you think like that at that point, Easton Stick's probably going to be dumping it off to his tight end, right? I mean, it ain't Eckler. Eckler ain't done anything. So, I mean, it just seems safe. I mean, it doesn't really seem too safe. I mean, it's Easton Stick, but I don't know. It seems safe to me.
Ian says, need 2 best quarterbacks, Love, Baker, Geno, Flacco. I'm going with Geno and Love.
Man, upside. If you want upside, I'm going Flacco, but I still think I'm going Love and Baker. Geno coming back from injury. But they do have a lot to play for, so.
Ronald says, you are the bomb, cutting edge content. Thank you, bro. These guys support me. Guys, I will be going and doing. I am part of sports affiliation. I just got so much going on. I don't get to do stuff with them. But I am part of sports affiliation. And Right. And we will be doing some content together. So guys, just make sure that I will be posting that inside my post when they are going live. Just let me know, JC, when y'all going live, man. We always can do a stream. We got to learn how to do a stream so we can stream
I agree with that.
Both of the platforms. Yeah, it would be. All right, guys, two more questions, and then I'm gonna get out of here. Let's see. Zach said, who is better waiver ad, JSN or Curtis Samuel? I'm gonna say JSN.
Yeah, I mean, I like the upside of Curtis Samuel all the time. I mean, I love Curtis Samuel's upside, but you want something safe. I like JSN. It is safe. It's very safe. You want a lot of upside, I think it's Curtis Samuel.
Curtis Samuel might be even better in redraft, to be honest. I ain't gonna sit there and cap. But
if this dynasty, if this is dynasty, JSN. If he's out there in dynasty, I'll be snatch him up now.
Right. Right. And last one, guys. I appreciate everybody being here. This is the last one. He says Eckler, Swift, Monty, sit 1 PPR. I'm sitting. I think we want to sit both, but if I had to sit one, I'll say Eckler.
I'm sitting Eckler. I mean, Monty could be a sit, but I'm sitting Eckler. I just don't.
Right. All right, JC. Okay, hold on. Mr. Anderson's last question: Flacco or Minshew? I'm going with Flacco because Minshew don't have Michael Pittman.
100% agree.
Jenny says, great show. We'll be back for sure. Let me know on those breaks if y'all run some baseball. I don't know if you does baseball. You do baseball, bro?
Not yet, but I think once the season gets into it, obviously, football will die down. Right now, we do a lot of football. I think we'll get into basketball a little bit, into that season. And once, baseball will be a little bit more summer stuff. I'll probably do some baseball stuff. I know there's some really good boxes out there. Bowman does some really good boxes. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Tom Brady rookie Montreal card. I don't know if everybody knows this, but Tom Brady did, he did sign with Montreal. His rookie card was actually pulled at a hobby shop here in Minnesota. It's a 1-of-1 autograph Brady rookie card, and that's going for $1 million.
Wow.
And it got pulled here in Minnesota. So I'm gonna try to get into it. Yeah.
Does he own that team, right?
Yeah, he played it with Montreal, like when he signed.
Oh, didn't he played with them? Okay, does he have?
He was on their practice squad or the AA squad or something like that. But he played for them in Montreal, the Expos. But yeah, I'll try to get into some baseball. I know baseball's got some big stuff. It's just something I need to learn a little bit more about. I have a ton of like old school baseball cards, so in my breaks, I like to do a lot of mystery cards. So like a lot of my stuff, like I give away, like I have a ton of cards. Like I'm a collector. So like in our breaks, like I do mystery cards. Like I give away mystery cards as well. It's like the other stuff that I do. And I give away a lot of other stuff too. Tomorrow in our break, we're going to have a mystery Hall of Fame autograph football that will be part of the break. So somebody will be getting that football. So if anybody, wants to come hang out, you can look me up on Twitter at JC Money Design. I will be posting. You can check us out on YouTube at the Sports Affiliation on YouTube. Like I said, we do a lot of our stuff on there. Thursdays and Mondays, we do watch parties for a football game, and we do the breaks during the second half. Some of these games, the primetimes games, they've been kind of friggin' boring, right? So it's kind of a good way to keep people entertained, have some fun, people win some stuff. But I get to be at this time of year. I'm going to be doing some giveaways and stuff like that. But yeah, come hang out. It's a lot of fun. Better than the Manning cast, right?
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, y'all be safe. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate you coming, JC. Hopefully we can do this again, man. This was awesome. This was fun, bro. Yep. Guys, I'll see y'all guys later. Y'all be safe. Peace.
I'm burning up. Yeah, let's talk some